Yeah.
All right, what's up,
everyone? Welcome to the Final Fantasy Entertainment and Podcast Network, Final Fan TV. I am Daniel, and joined with me today, well, it is Tsunamods, creator and cast of the XXIV mod. This is a very highly ambitious mod. Just what they're doing here is just mind-blowing. They are adding full voice acting to the entirety of the original Final Fantasy VII. So what I want to do first, we have a full crew here today. We're going to go around the room. Just introduce yourself and your role in XXIV. We'll start with Suna.
Okay, so I'm Suna. I created the Tsunamods team. Not initially for voice acting, but one thing has led to another, and here we are. We've done just about everything to the game at this point. But yeah, as a brief synopsis, yeah, I created everything, and I met these lovely people, and they're all helping me do what I've always wanted to do.
Awesome. And then yeah, just keep it going, guys.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not sure if we're in the same order on everybody's
I
screen.
wasn't sure. My name is Kennedy. I play Aerith Gainsborough in the mod.
Awesome.
My name is Dustin, and I play Sid motherfucking Highwind.
There we are. There's Sid. Go. I can just call out the name Kennedy. Oh no, we already said Kennedy. Let's go to the Aussie my Lord and Lord and Master.
Yes. Ozzyroth, also known as David. Probably a big shock, but I am the voice of Sephiroth in this mod.
Wow, I had no
idea.
What?
I thought you were Optimus Prime.
Like what?
Holy
well, before time began, there was no bad films.
That's a lie.
There's always been bad films.
Ooh, you
have to just drop your email address in chat and be like,
that's beautifully timed.
It's the cube.
Yeah. There you go. That voice that you just heard was Christian. What's up, Christian?
Hi, I am Christian, and I am the voice actor for Cloud and Barrett. I'm also the voice director of XXIV. So, yep.
Awesome. And we got Luke.
Hi, my name is Luke Word, and I voice Wedge for XXIV.
Great, awesome. And then Christina, did we Christina?
No, I'm Christina Strubos, and I play Tifa Lockhart in XOS.
Awesome. Well, there you go. This is the creator and cast of the XOS mod. Very excited to sit down and talk with you guys today and have some fun. You know, we do interviews here on Final Fan TV, but this is kind of just, we like to make it like a hangout session. We're all just having fun. But I am going to direct my questions to Suna at first here. Suna, could you please share how this project came to be? And so what was the spark that lit the fire within you to make the original Final Fantasy VII fully voiced?
So voicing specifically, it's kind of an interesting story, I guess. But a lot of the viewers and anybody that follows FF7 mods have probably heard of the Quim forums or Kim forums. I don't know how it's actually pronounced, but I was browsing through it one day because I'd already been messing around with mods and I was interested and whatnot. And I came across a program that said that it was like designed for voice acting in FF7. And I took it the wrong way. I downloaded it thinking it was a voice acted mod. And then I started complaining in the thread like a dummy and being like, oh, this doesn't work and whatever else. And then I was informed then that it was to create a voice acted mod. And I was like, okay, I'll take a look into this. Why not? And I specifically remember it was about 5 o'clock in the morning. I was sat on the ground in my living room at the coffee table. The missus was asleep. The dog was asleep. Everyone was asleep. And then I got the first voice line to actually play in the game purely by accident. And I screamed and woke up everyone in the house. And from that point, I was like, you know what? I'm ambitious. I can pull this off. That was 6 years ago now.
Wow. So this has been in the works for 6 years. That's amazing.
It has. But granted, this time around, like with this cast, everybody that's here, we've only started since about September because so many things kept getting in the way and I had to restart with recast. And the script that we use updated because we're not using the original Final Fantasy VII script because it's broken and doesn't make any sense. So
Okay.
yeah, so many reasons I had to start again. But then like as soon as that voice file played, my brain was like, this is it. This is what we are born to do.
Yeah, I love it, man. I did get a chance to actually watch the demo reel, which I'm hoping that anybody in chat has seen. The demo reel of the cast, introducing the cast was just, I was on board from the moment that, you know, I hear all these voices and I'm just like, the very talented crew right now. And I'm Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time. It means so much to me. And this is sacred ground, as I always say on the show. Final Fantasy VII is sacred ground, and you guys are doing it justice. And that's amazing. So
Appreciate that like you wouldn't believe.
What's that?
I appreciate that. I really do.
Oh man, well, thank you. I feel like what the excitement around this is actually, it's kind of crazy because I feel like it's more than a mod. You know what I mean? Like this feels like
Absolutely.
a release, like a launch of you know, a remake of Final Fantasy VII, even though we've gotten that, right. But this is, you know, a lot of people do really just want to play the Final Fantasy VII, the original PS1, but making it you know, like this enhanced textures and all this other stuff, including voices, which is amazing. And then also for people who are, you know, maybe like they can't read well, I think this is a beautiful mod for people like that. And yeah, and it's just, what you guys are doing is just amazing. So could you explain to anyone who's watching right now, anyone who's unfamiliar with what mods are, or even who Tsunamods is, could you explain what exactly Echo S is, beyond making the original fully voiced?
Okay, so for anybody that's never dabbled in mods before, because it is still quite an unexplored world, I think only about 10% of the FF7 audience have ever actually seen mods for the game. So it is very unknown still, but we have ways that we can inject our own files into the game to change it in any way that we want. So right now with Echo S, the main feature of Echo S being the voice acting is what we're adding to it. But you can do just about anything to Final Fantasy VII. You can change all the textures, you can change 3D models, you can change the AI, make the game harder, do difficulty mods, add new side quests. The game's practically unlimited at this point, thanks to the people that actually took the time to. If you picture the game being like a box, they had to open the box and see what was inside and understand how it worked first. Like the guys that made the programs that allow us to do all this, like without those guys, obviously none of us would be able to do anything. Yeah. But a lot of people assume that modding games is really difficult. And I can't deny that it isn't. Any game outside of FF7 is probably very different to FF7 itself. But with the right tools, you can do just about anything to FF7 and not even know how. I mean, I'm totally self-taught and I can change just about anything in the entire game at this point.
Wow, that's very impressive. So we're going to go over to Christian for this next question. Christian, you were brought on to be the voice of Cloud and Barrett in Echo S, but in addition to that, you later on became the director of the project. Now, it's clear to me, based off of your demo reel and your YouTube channel, that you have a passion for Final Fantasy, which makes you an excellent choice for the director. Could you explain your role as director and the challenges you faced, and maybe even moments of triumph during the project? And what was your main goal directing Echo S?
Okay, so first of all, to do this sort of job, you have to have like a certain level of hate for yourself. And it turns out I hate myself a whole lot. So I'm just like, I took on the job. It's funny, at first, Suna brought me on because he needed a voice actor for Barrett. And so I did that. I don't know why I get Barrett a lot. I have not landed an Asian role in my life. No, I've not at all. But yeah, a big reveal on the camera, like I'm Asian. And I guess he was noticing that I was doing a lot of Final Fantasy stuff on the side, and I've always done that. So some of the people here in the cast, like luckily enough, I have worked with them for like years, like Sephiroth and Luke. We've known each other for like what, around 10 years plus.
10 plus years.
Yeah,
Back
and
in 2009. Good lord.
2000. Oh, geez, don't say it. Like,
No, it's cursed. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, the self-hate
Back
is like.
when I
just-
had hair.
You just aged on camera with that
Back when I
realization.
had less hair.
That's very triggering, sir. Stop. David, you talk any more about like that, I'm gonna have you like sing me a lullaby later on. But anyways, I digress. So we've known each other, and all I've been doing from the very beginning was all Final Fantasy stuff. The only reason why I wanted to voice act was because I wanted to do Final Fantasy stuff. In fact, I never actually got cast for a lot of the fan projects, and me being like the enormous sort of like asshole that I am, I'm just like, I'll just do it myself. So there's a meaning to that. So because I'm like that, I guess it was good for me to sort of pick up the role for the voice director, because Suna was doing almost everything, or actually he was doing everything at the time. And when he picked me up to do the voice direction, it was nice because I get to sort of share in his I got to sort of share his burden. And but at the same time I kept asking Suna if he really wanted me to do it, because like if you've seen my YouTube channel or whatever, right, or know me in any capacity, like I'm very I have strong opinions about like the Final Fantasy games. So I do consider myself like a Final Fantasy fan before voice actor. So that's sort of what that is. Yeah. And then the rest of your question, I forgot.
Oh yeah, just the rest of the question was, what was your main goal when you're directing Echo S? What is it that you set out to achieve with this?
Okay. All right. So there were plenty of routes for us to go, especially since the remake came out, so that's sort of difficult, because when the remake voice actors came out, then all of a sudden people had like a different template of the kind of voice they wanted. But the difficulty there is that we couldn't just simply transpose that kind of acting or that kind of, because, we can't access the actors themselves. But it's not just that. It's the medium, like Final Fantasy VII, the original game. It is not in any way, shape, or form the same as the medium that we have for remake. They have lip flaps and body language and camera angles. So everything can really point you towards the direction of the characters. But for this, it's a little bit difficult. So even when I was casting like these lovely people over here, it was difficult because during the casting process, we had a lot of auditions. And it turns out that Final Fantasy VII is really popular. I didn't know. But right. I thought it was just us. I'm like, I thought it was like a niche, like a niche thing. But then we had so many, and a lot of them were like phenomenal. Some of them even sounded like the original, or even like the Advent Children people. But it was difficult because we had to pick people whose voices fit well with each other. Because it was hard if we got like, let's say, it's good that Kennedy and Christina there, like their voices are different and distinguishable. But even if, let's say, they sounded sort of similar in a way, then that would have like killed the immersion of the game, because you can't see them. So when they speak and like the text box comes out, and then you have to second guess, you have to be like, wait, was that Tifa who spoke or Aerith? Then, that sort of ruined it. So, okay. So basically my goal as a director was focused on experience, like the experience of the audience, the players.
Okay.
Someone mute me, please.
Oh, sure. I don't know actually.
Right.
Can I do that?
That is the first time I'll ever hear
Someone mute me, please.
ever say that.
In the bottom left. Oh, yep.
Oh,
Final-
he's gone.
There we go. Oh no.
Final Fan TV is like performing miracles, man. This is recorded, right? That is the first time I will ever
Clip it.
hear David
Yeah,
say that. Can someone mute me? Like, oh
Hey,
shit.
somebody mute me, please.
Someone clip that and save
We
it for
can-
me. For
Yeah, we can
posterity.
clip that. Hold on.
I have to ask him.
Right on that. I'll get right on that.
Thank you.
You'll see
Okay,
the
I'm-
pure shock on my face too. I was like,
Somebody mute me.
David wants to be
All right.
muted? Jesus Christ. All right. But yeah, I hope that answered your question.
No,
somewhat.
absolutely. I that was awesome. I'm glad that you explained it like that, because that is very interesting, because like you said, you don't get the zoom ins of people who's talking. So if Aerith sounded like Tifa, then you do get confused. But man, that's I didn't even think of that. So really cool. Actually going on to Tifa, Christina, you in Echo S, you voiced Tifa, and after listening to your dubs, your
boy.
like demo reel, in the remake scenes of Tifa. Like you actually kind of dubbed over the remake, and even the Brave Exvius trailer. I think you're really making your name synonymous with Tifa, which I think is so cool with the fandom. Britt Baron obviously did just an absolutely phenomenal job as Tifa in the remake.
Oh yeah.
But with Echo S, you have had a chance to really put your stamp on the character, and as players will be experiencing, the beloved original with your voice throughout. So how much of Britt Baron's Tifa did you blend in with your own personality?
I see, when I approach any character, I look at her and Rachel Lee Cook while we're at it for reference, but
Yeah.
I kind of at the same time I want to put my own spin on it. So you're not just going, oh, that's like she's just I might as well listen to Britt Baron's version. Like I just try to bring something new to the table. Tifa's her heart, her vulnerability at times. She tends to like keep things. She'll talk about others and not herself, and just bringing her heart, bringing her kindness, bringing her passion to it, while still trying to keep my own spin on it. But I'm glad you've enjoyed all my dubs, because that's just an obsession that's gotten out of control, maybe, and it's turned into this. I couldn't be happier.
I think it's awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I think you've done a great job of kind of putting this is your Tifa. Even though it sounds familiar, it's familiar, but uniquely yours.
Right.
So very cool. We're gonna go over to Luke. Luke, you voice the Avalanche informant Wedge.
I do.
Based on your past works, you clearly have a love for Final Fantasy as well, and bringing other media that otherwise would not have voice acting to life. You even voiced Baku and Steiner from Final Fantasy IX in a fan dub series. So Echo S seems like a natural fit for you. What drew you to this project, and what about Echo S has you the most excited?
Well, actually, it started with just Christian was already in the project, and I had voiced Wedge for him previously and a bunch of other times. So he was like, hey, they're looking for a Wedge. You should send them a sample, and we'll see what goes from there. So that's basically what I did. I recorded a quick few lines, popped into the Discord server, sent them my Wedge, got cast. And then the entire cast was changed. So I was like technically the last of the old guard before Christian kind of like took over and like redid everything. And then I was quietly moved over to still be Wedge anyway.
You're like,
I mean, and I auditioned for a bunch of the other mains too, and I'm still just Wedge, and you'll hear me pop up on a few extras throughout the project, but it's but I'm quite happy being like a utility player in a project this big. So
yeah, absolutely, man. You get to be one of the first voices that players get to hear. And
yeah, very true.
So we're gonna go over to Kennedy. So I heard your demo in the voice cast demo for Echo S, and I thought, wow, like right, I was like, this was a great choice for Aerith, like right off the bat. I didn't know like a lot of the cast members. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know. But man, you guys just really nailing these characters. But when I heard Aerith, I was like, man, this is amazing. You in just a few lines, you have kind of captured Aerith's range of personalities, where she has like the kind of goofy but also very serious things going on. So how did you approach the task of voicing everyone's favorite flower girl, as well as Jessie, who gained much more popularity in remake? So now you have two of the fandom's like favorite girls going on. So what did you hope to bring to these characters?
So I would say this is a really great question. Oh my goodness, I'm excited. So with Aerith, like, I know this is cliche, but part of me just felt like I was kind of born to play her, like in a somewhat capacity. So I've been with Aerith for a very, very long time. When I was a kid, like, Final Fantasy was my life, and so was Kingdom Hearts, interestingly enough. So like I've told Christian and like Dave, like I think it was just kind of like an osmosis of kind of just observing, like how these different like Aeriths, act and sound. And then I, kind of like Christina, like I just kind of injected my own personality into it because I do the Stanislavski method of acting, is where you are your character.
Okay.
So it's kind of like pushing Kennedy aside and actually becoming Aerith, which for me, it's kind of like a second, skin or a second dress, you might say. So yeah, like her and I think are very similar, and that is what I do with every character I play. It doesn't matter like, good or evil. I actually did a fan dub a few years ago with Dave where I was Ultimisha. It hasn't been posted yet or anything. But with the characters I play, I try to find similarities, and that is how I just dive into those characters. Jessie, I think, was just a tiny bit more challenging. I was intimidated, honestly, because the remake Jessie. Oh, I loved like how flirtatious she was. I was like, yes, queen. Oh, I love it. And
She thirsty.
yeah, it was great.
So much for that matter.
And I believe it's Miss Erica Lindbeck. Great. Okay, I just want to be like correct,
Yes.
and I kind of just absorbed kind of that, flirtatiousness and stuff like that. And I felt like, with Jessie, it's still me, but maybe just kind of just a bit more toned down and a little bit more, focus with like flirtatiousness and also being direct and also nerdy about the technology in Midgar. So I was like, yeah, okay, so that's how I tried to approach those two characters as best as I could,
Yeah, absolutely. And it shows. It's awesome. Thank you. We're going to go over to David. Now, my lord and master, you voice the most iconic villain of all time, Sephiroth, and that's me just saying that, but I mean it's true. Sephiroth. So one of the requirements for that role is, of course, that you need to be Superman at some point. But I did not see Superman in your filmography, so I'm assuming that you are in fact Superman. But what I did see is that you've played Sephiroth several times in several projects, including a what if scenario called Project M for a YouTube channel called Imagivotion, where Sephiroth has an apprentice. From the short clip that I watched, it seems that it may be even a romantic connection between the two. It has my curiosity, so I'm definitely going to make it next on my watch list. But you've been voicing Sephiroth in projects like that for quite some time, since at least 2012.
Longer than that.
Okay. Awesome. So which dates before remake was even announced? So you didn't have Tyler Hoechlin's voice. Did you draw inspiration from Greg Newburn's Sephiroth and try to blend it with Tyler Hoechlin after hearing remake? Or did you just go, I'm going to develop my own voice for Sephiroth?
Well, it's weird because when it comes to voice acting, I want to try and make my own original takes as much as possible, usually, with a few exceptions, but I'm also the world's greatest voice thief.
Yeah.
The world's greatest voice thief.
We'll see about that.
Ursula?
Come on, you poor unfortunate soul. Why did I do that as Brian Blessed? Anyway.
Why not? He can voice anyone.
Yeah, but long story, trying to make this one because it's actually a rather long story. I'm a huge Final Fantasy nut. It's vying for first place as my favorite franchise between Star Wars and Legend of Zelda.
Welcome to the show. Like,
found yourself a new co-host. Look at that.
There it is. No, we're actually we're in David's world now. That's actually what's happening right now.
Well, what's funny is that 7 while it's all my all-time favorite Final Fantasy, it was not my first. My first, of all bloody things, was one called Mystic Quest.
Oh,
One of the offshoots. Then I played Final Fantasy VIII. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Then I played Final Fantasy VII. I'm like, I'm in love.
It's my baby.
Yes, but when it came to Sephiroth, it was back when I was younger, maybe a tad more arrogant and all that jazz, like saying, I could do everything and everything. When I first did Sephiroth, I tried to cross him between his original Japanese seiyuu, Toshiyuki Morikawa, and Sir Christopher Lee, which sounds good in theory, but tell me, Cloud, what do you cherish most? It doesn't quite work. I always knew I was onto something, but there are people who said, you perform it great, but that voice is too deep. And when I did try to raise it and something like that, they're going, no, it's too high. I'm like, what is wrong with you? You see, back then, I didn't have much knowledge in voice acting because there was a term called character matching. And that's actually something very, very precisely. I need to sneeze, but I can't. But it's a big thing in voice acting because they have to find what works with the character overall. Like Sephiroth, they said it needs a low voice but a thin voice. And being a new guy, I'm looking going, what the fuck are you on about, you lunatic? But then after listening to interviews from the likes of Peter Cullen, my voice acting idol, and Frank Welker, especially in Transformers Prime, when he was talking about his take on Megatron, in Transformers Prime, he was somewhere more around here, which apparently was his original take that he wanted to audition for, but they was told it was too scary. So in G1, it was up here. Yeah. I'm like, okay, how can I do with that with Sephiroth? And then I started looking around finding other actors. And then there's this one guy who I hope gets to voice Sephiroth in some capacity, being Paul Dobson.
Paul Dobson.
Naraku.
Paul Dobson's great.
Oh, I think that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, Naraku from Inuyasha and Braveheart, Graveheart, sorry, from one of those early TVI shows. But Sephiroth, in the end, became my most complicated character because I ended up still using elements from Toshiyuki Morikawa and Sir Christopher Lee. But then I added Paul Dobson, John Rafterly, Crispin Freeman, Bruno Schoel, his French actor, who's amazing, by the way, Benedict Cumberbatch, and a tiger.
And a tiger.
Yes, he's hunting his prey.
Well, I learned that one from when David Kay, when he based Megatron on Sean Connery, Sir Anthony Hopkins, and a lizard. But the tiger, well, Sephiroth has those green piercing eyes and just that slow stalk that is always terrifying yet mesmerizing to watch. So it took me a little while, but finally I managed to find something that worked at long last.
Dude, come on. That's awesome.
Whatever you cherish most, I will take it away.
That's
But yeah.
my ears are just happy with the
That's amazing.
So happy.
Yeah, but it's amazing how many fan dubs I've been in.
I heard all of those voices that you just, all of those names and the tiger, all in that one line that you just did. I heard even the tiger. It was like,
Even the tiger.
Well, the tiger's made out of butter. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, here's the funny thing as well. Here's how I found out where I could do Brian Blessed, because Luke and I have something in common. We both voiced Steiner at one different stage. And I'm trying to figure out the voice for Steiner. I'm like, okay, I can see two different guys who could do this. So what happens if I combine them? One was Samuel E. Wright, Sebastian Crabbe from Little Mermaid. Lovely, right?
yeah. Little Mermaid.
Ariel, please, could you get your head out of the clouds and back in the water where it belongs? And the other one being John Rhys Davies Gimli. This is a grim scene. I can smell orc even from this distance. So I said, okay, what would happen if I combine the two? Lo and behold, you get Brian Blessed, who's somehow the combination of a Jamaican crab and a dwarf. And then next thing you know, I'm suddenly screaming,
That's perfect. Oh man. Thank you for that.
Actually, you sound more like you swallowed those two things.
You swallowed those.
We have a fan question for directed at all of you.
Okay.
hang on, we got to introduce Dustin as well.
Yeah. We got a few more. We got a few.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, or one more. And this one's actually yours, Vinny. This one's yours
Okay.
because Sid is actually Vinny's favorite Final Fantasy VII character. So I said, Vinny, I'm writing the list of questions, but this one's yours, buddy.
Yeah, Sid was just always my favorite to have in the party because of his he's just very colorful, and he always seemed so angry, even like during like happy things or like somebody would do something good, and I always had a picture of what Sid would sound like in my head. So my question to you is, like, how did you come up with Sid's voice? Like, what inspirations or external sources like really brought you to like that is what Sid sounds like? Because you were spot on.
His mother bored
I'd
him.
have to say, I mean, that's kind of what it is. I live in and grew up in South Dakota, and a lot of that, the accent side is already there. I used Chris Edgerly's work in Advent Children and Dirge of Cerberus to kind of get a feel for the voice itself. And after enough time, they just kind of like the Sid voice and my normal speaking, the gap between them became much smaller, so I could just kind of launch right into it anytime I goddamn want to. So yeah, it's kind of a mix between Chris Edgerly's performance and just me being me.
Nice, good answer. When I heard the 1 wing, 2 wing, every time
I don't care if you got 1 wing, 2 wings, 4 wings, chicken wings, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Chris, you gotta write that into the script.
That was pretty good. I was just recording some lines, and someone in my chat was just like, hey, what would Sid say to Safer Sephiroth? I'm like, all right, I got this. And one of the great things about voicing Sid is everyone knows he's got that rambunctious personality, and being able to have a little bit of freedom in recording lines to ad lib, and we'll adjust the script around it. When Suna and Crane gave me that leeway, you best believe so far that I've taken it and run with it.
Not giving the inch, taking the mile.
Now, to be fair, I am recording, for every line I am recording a couple as written. So that way, if it doesn't fit a scene necessarily the way they would like, then they have that option. But, I want to, just give, I want to make Sid come to life because he's always been my favorite character too. Like, as far as all-time video game characters, Sid is up there for me with like Ken Masters from Street Fighter. So
awesome.
Having this opportunity is something that not only am I just grateful for, like, hey, I get to do a main character kind of thing. It's more like, fuck yes, Sid, let's go. And I have a blast doing it. I will say that when Sid confronts, or when Sid runs into Palmer, and when he runs into Corneo in Echo S, when you guys finally do get your hands. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm excited for that. That's gonna be great. That's when you do some ad libbing, some improv.
Oh man, let's see. One of them was this was something I totally just inserted. I don't know if these got used or not, but like we'll say for the Wu Tai scene with Corneo. One of the things that I put in there was something like I can't remember exactly what the couple lines before it were, but basically kind of came down to Sid basically saying to Corneo, "You better back up and recognize that I'm a badass." Kind of that was the vibe. So I threw a couple in there like, "Tell you what, motherfucker, I'm so bad. If you're ever on the phone with God and I call, you better click over and see what the fuck I want." Or I'm a bad son of a bitch. I tell you what, you ever see me fighting a bear, you better jump in and help the bear.
You better- Jump in and help the bear.
I'll never stop being funny.
Right? I totally plan on bringing his character all the way out in its full glory and do him justice. Which also one of the scenes that I'm actually looking forward to recording the most, because I'm still in the middle of my stuff. I'm actually really looking forward to the flashback scene where that kind of goes over the launch, because I believe Kennedy is going to be our sheriff.
Oh, nice.
So we get to work with each other, like and play off of each other, so that when those lines go into that scene, like the chemistry, the interaction is going to be there. It's not going to feel like it's in a can or something, because that's one of the more emotional moments in the game, up there with Earth's death and the Seto scene in Cosmo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the high wind, not high wind, the Shinra 26 flashback is one of the more emotional moments in the game, and you know that's definitely not an area where you're going to be hearing Sid going off on some goofy shit,
right?
You know,
right.
So based on the scenes, like it's gonna match. So.
Awesome. I'm excited for that too. Really cool. Really cool. It's really cool to find out that you're going to be Sheriff Kennedy. That's cool.
So it just happened kind of on accident, but I think Dustin, like just hearing Dustin do Sid, and then I live in Texas. I'm not like a Texan or anything, but then I started trying to get Sheriff's Southern twang down, and then it was just kind of like, sit down and drink your goddamn tea.
There's the twist. There's the twist. Shara says it.
Well, God damn it! I'm sorry. I'll be sitting right here. You
never heard you do that
whenever
before.
You're done with it. I'm so sorry, Sheriff.
Oh wow!
Really put Sid in his place.
Yes, Sid.
Sid just be sitting there like,
yeah, Starling.
Dear.
Oh yeah, like I like, playing like characters, and Shira was just something that, I wanted to kind of step out of like my comfort zone with, because I never like thought about her, and then I was like, you know what, why not give it a shot, so yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. Vinny, you said we had a question, a fan question, right?
Yes, we did, from Rimavel. They ask to all of you, so whoever wants to go first, but what are you most looking forward to when this project is finally released? Are you looking forward to the praise, the fame, or just being able to take a break and just vacation?
What I'm looking forward to overall is just the overall reaction. I just want to see how people react to this overall. I mean, I'm satisfied as an artist. I know some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. Some people are going to be in between. So I'm just going to go and say, I did what I could. I did, and I'm proud of it. But I'm also my own worst critic too. I'm like, I'll look at some lines and go, shit, I could have done that better. And they'll be sick again. No, Dave, you were fine. You were fine. Like, I could have done better, man.
I said I could have done better.
Yeah, like
you weren't crying real tears. It doesn't count.
Sephiroth doesn't cry. He doesn't have emotions.
Except
don't
for
pretend as if you were sad.
Yes.
But I kind of agree with Dave. Like, I feel like I've put like, a lot, into Aerith. And honestly, like, I feel like I'm not necessarily focused on like the fame or the praise. Those things are nice, like don't get me wrong. But I think as like an artist, like it's just will be very happy once, you know, Aerith is like, you know, out into the world. And honestly, I don't think it's kind of hit me yet that like you know, like my voice is in a video game. So it's just kind of like but yeah, I think I'm just more on the focused aspect of just making sure, like, you know, I'm doing Aerith to the best of my ability, and just mostly focused, you know, like what happens afterwards, like, you know, I'll deal with it. But I feel like I'm just so focused on just making sure she's portrayed correctly that like the fame and the praise is just kind of like, you know, an afterthought, you know?
Yeah.
I'll piggyback off that a little because I started doing like my background, like I have no background in acting. I just thought fan dubbing would be a fun thing to do when I was like 18 years old. That's how long it's been.
Yeah,
and I've never gotten to do anything like this before. Like when you're dubbing, you always have a reference or mouth flaps to match, but here we kind of had free reign. Like Christian encouraged to like try different things, just like send as many takes as you want, try be out there, be like whatever you want to be, and we'll pick your best. And it again, it is really cool to hear my voice in a video game. Like it's just, the whole experience is so cool, and I really hope people enjoy it.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
absolutely. Anybody else want to feel that?
I think for me, one of my big motivations is that voice is something that I've been into ever since I was a little kid. And, you know, when we get right down to it, my life hasn't been easy. But, you know, I hit that point where like, you know what, this is what I want to do. And it was actually Suna and this project that lit that fire.
Yeah.
And what I would like to see after all this is some opportunities for me to make this my career. This would be absolutely lovely. Like if for some reason I got a call from Square saying, you know, hey, we heard about your Sid, you better believe I would jump on that in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah.
How cool I would look in the Echo S for credits. Actual Sid in Echo S.
Actual Sid.
Did hide in place himself.
They need a Sid. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. They're gonna need a Sid for part 2. So.
when it comes right down to it, I'm like, even if none of that other stuff happens, I am absolutely proud to be a part of this project and help, you know, bring Final Fantasy VII to life in my own little way, you know, along with all these other amazing people that we've got. I'm just proud to be a part of it. And, you know, hopefully I make it, a bunch of gamers smile with what I'm doing. That's what it comes to.
Well,
I think you will.
You've gotten us, man. You gotten us smiling today. Thank you. And like I said at the beginning of the show, man, you know, I'm like the ambassador for Final Fantasy VII. I like to say, you know, just so you know, I represent the entire fandom. So yeah, I mean, I approve. So
Maybe like Nick Cage says, it's high praise.
Was that Face Off? Was that a Face Off reference?
Maybe, but I remember it more from Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live. Gotcha.
All right, Seka, you're next.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking forward to. Fame might be might be nice, but at the same time, like just doing this project, like every time I go on like Suna's stream just to like say hi, because like people know that I'm like voice directing this or whatever, right? And then I get a lot of DMs, so I think I would rather not have the fame anymore. If that means I can like
too much work.
No, I'd rather deal with shouting lines all day and Ossiroth's Jamaican crab. But I do think for me the is that to, and I don't know, I think Suna and I sort of agree on this. It's never over. You know, personally, I wanted to create something that I would want to watch, and sometimes that's sort of the best you can do because you can't please everybody. And so at the end of the day, I really just wanted to create something that I wanted to see. And, I've been with a lot of these people, a lot of them recently, but, some of them in the past, and we've never stopped. So like when we dub something, sometimes it feels like, oh my God, we did it. We dubbed it. Like a lot of the people in the cast right now, we dubbed the whole like Advent Children.
I saw that before when I was doing a little bit of research beforehand, and I saw that the entire Final Fantasy VII Advent Children movie was dubbed. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have enough time to watch this before the interview, but like I can't wait to watch this. This is great.
Yeah, Advent Children, Last Order we did too. So.
Oh, Last Order was so much fun. Oh,
yeah, really I actually think I may have watched that. Because I watched the English dub of that version. I'm pretty sure that was probably your version.
That was us. That was us.
We dropped it back in what was it, July? I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year.
Something like that.
Last year.
Must have been. It must have been. Yeah.
261,000 views.
Amazing.
300, I think.
300,000 something views. Yeah.
361.
Yeah.
That's actually
as well.
Oh yeah. Just one thing was that for Suna, that was one thing that he was like trying to sell on me for, because I was already on the team, and he was like, oh, since you dubbed this from Final Fantasy and this from Final Fantasy, you might as well dub the whole game. So what do you say? And I'm just like,
again,
it's nice to have the continuity between voices. Like just do the whole FF7 universe, the same cast, and then you can just experience the whole story.
And don't forget about the delicious meme gravy that was Christian's Sephiroth L'Oreal commercial.
Oh,
yeah.
That was.
Speaking of which, we need to go to commercial right now with the L'Oreal commercial. Let's play that.
Sponsored by.
Yeah.
So the work's never done, and these people are, these people are gonna. I know they're gonna keep on keeping on. So that's what it is. We're never. I don't think anybody here will be satisfied, anyways. We'll be done with FF7 and we'll be like, what next,
Yeah, we got the next, yeah.
Just like, what? No.
Start twiddling your thumbs bored.
Well, speaking of what's next for Tsunamods, I do have a special video to play. If you guys are you're ready to play this now, or do you want to wait until a little bit later? I want to
like a good time.
Do it.
Let's all look at Suna on stream like the Brady Bunch. Where's he?
Where's Suna? On my screen, he's up there.
I think I have to look this
down here.
Top right.
It was a modern.
And then after that, we'll ask Luke what he's looking
this way.
forward to.
There we go.
And then, by the way, Luke, you gotta answer what you're looking forward to as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
if anybody wants to field the question, please do so.
Yeah. So so Wedge is a little bit different because he got a little bit more screen time in Remake.
Yeah.
But he's more of a bit player overall. But to me, he's kind of special. Him and a couple other characters, because it's just kind of my regular voice, and that was something that actually took me a really long time to get comfortable with and kind of accept that I could act in my regular voice. Because when I started out, I was doing like a lot of monster and creature voices, and that was kind of my specialty. And it took a couple of years before I was just like, I just can't use my normal voice. I don't like it. It doesn't sound good. But like Wedge and a couple other characters where it just kind of fit my normal tone, helped me sort of get comfortable acting as me, essentially, instead of like coming down here and then I start talking like this, or I start getting real close and go,
"Hi, how are you?" Echo is Final Fantasy VII.
And, but that's kind of that's kind of where I started.
Oracle from Jack and Daxter. I don't
know
if you guys,
that was awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of
Q precursor orb
or
power cell for 80 precursor orb.
Awesome.
Like that's inspired by like a lot of things, but like Frank Welker's Dr. Claw, a lot of Frank Welker in this chat.
Is what I was
the precursors from Jack and Daxter, Machine Dramon from Digimon. Like it's a lot of inspiration from a lot of those kinds of voices that I was just like, oh, I could do that. And then when I started voice acting, that's what I got cast for a lot. So that's why when it was like, oh, I'm the creature guy, even though I auditioned for a bunch of stuff, well, like it took actually a couple of years before I was like comfortable just being me as a character.
Yeah, and
I get
that's
that. Yeah.
that is really cool. I got to take a look at the demo reel, and when I heard your voice, I thought you did a fantastic job as Wedge. Yeah, and I think that's really that. I mean, it has to be nice for you to hear. I don't know, but like for me to say that like your acting is great. Like you can do creature voices, but yeah, man, like. The voice, be comfortable in your own voice, I suppose. You know what I mean? Like be comfortable with that because that you do a great job. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does anybody else feel like I'm sorry, I haven't been keeping track of who's answered that question, but anybody else want to field that question?
I think that was the last one.
I think it's just me left at that point.
Yeah,
Suna. It's just Suna.
Oh yeah, Suna. I
know
mean,
my
your
answer is-
opinion matters, I think.
What do you think about your voice acting? Suna?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought we were more about like what we're doing after, that little portion of the.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no, go for it.
Because it's a bit different for me. Because like right now, this actually is my career, my full-time job, and like knowing what to do after was a pretty big deal for me. Because like if I finish and then just stop, like that's it. I got to go get a job, And I'm always trying to plan ahead and think of other things to do. And I mean, the day that XOS releases, I kid you not, I'm sleeping for 24 hours. I'm not opening Discord. Phone's going out the window. Just chilling.
Smart.
Like thinking ahead, trying to find other projects that we're moving to and stuff.
Yeah, and speaking of other projects that you're moving to, man, or whatever this announcement is, I am not sure. Yep, you said, hey, we're gonna make a big announcement. We would love to make a big announcement on your show, and I'm gonna just start this off with saying thank you. It's a huge honor that you've considered to have your announcement made right here on Final Fan TV. I hope that FFTV can be a stage for this to actually reach a lot of people, and yeah, so just wanted to say thank you for having this announcement right here on Final Fan TV. So I'm going to play the Echo S trailer as it was called in the file, and yeah, I'll see you when it's over. We're gonna mute the desktop audio.
Peggy 16.
nothing but an empty puppet. Cloud Strife, eh? I'm
not interested. Once this job's over, I'm out of here.
Welcome back, Cloud. Looks like the mission went well. You didn't argue with Barrett, did you?
Tell me, boy, does this soldier have a name?
Ex-soldier. Cloud Strife.
You'll have to forgive me. I can't be expected to remember every soldier's name. Unless you were another Sephiroth.
Sephiroth?
Sorry, losers. You're too late. Once I push this button, that's all, folks. Mission accomplished.
We have to disarm it! Cloud! Barrett! We have to do something!
Not while I'm working! You ain't got shit on Reno and the Turks.
Marlene! Marlene! Marlene!
I'll be here.
Why?
I'll be waiting here.
For what?
I'll be waiting for you. If you come here, you'll find me. I promise.
Oh my God. Okay, we're switching over to the what?
Look at
What?
chat.
Always
There
thinking
we
of
go.
the next project. Huh? Always thinking
Chat,
of
oh
the
my
next
God.
project. What?
There was no foreshadowing whatsoever, you know.
Whoa, that's oh my God. Okay, so that's a lot to take in. First thing, I can't talk about anything else until we acknowledge what we saw at the end. What is that, Suna?
That is already happening. XXIV 8 is a real thing. We are going to be voice acting Final Fantasy 8 as well. But I will say ahead of time as well, because I know a lot of people are obviously waiting for 7 to come out and it's not finished yet. A big question from everybody is going to be, is this going to slow down 7? And it isn't, because the editors aren't going to be touching 8. Any of the voice actors that haven't finished 7 aren't touching 8. Only the people that are finished and are sat doing nothing right now are taking their next roles. So we're planning ahead of time, and Echo S for Final Fantasy 8.
God. Okay, so Vinny, you've been keeping an eye on chat, man.
Yes.
Dude, I can't keep an eye on chat because it can't keep up. But man, this seems like it's very, very positive. I'm really, really excited. I saw once I saw the beach, I was like, okay, wait a second. Unless we're looking at a really high quality Costa del Sol, I don't know about this.
Do you have access to the poll feature? Because I know not every Twitch channel has it. Like, it's just randomly spread out. Like, you could get like a proper
oh man,
are you hyped for FF8? Yes, no kind of thing. So,
while you guys are talking about it, I will like Vinny, go ahead and read off some of the chat right now. Let them know what chat's saying.
So most of the chat is just a bunch of emojis. I could do emoji analysis, but
there's a lot of in there.
Is that a hard
emoji analysis?
We have a lot of surprise Sephiroths too. Look at that. It's just a lot of good stuff, a lot of approval. I think this has a whopping 100% approval rating for you guys to do Final Fantasy 8 XXIV 8. Chat has been blowing up. We've had we actually have a lot of gifted subs that went out.
I think I got one.
Earlier.
I think I got one of those.
Oh, look at that. We have more gifted subs going
Just
out.
got one.
We had a level 5 hype train earlier.
Yeah, we did have a level 5 hype train. We have number 5. We have Young B with 1 gifted sub. Strife 98 just gifted 5 subs. Thank you for that. Wow. We have Moggs we gifting 10 subs. Mitchell, I think. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but gifted 14 subs. And then our number 1 gifter for this week is Silason gifting 15 subs. And it just everybody is just actually we have 120% approval rating for XXIV 8.
Wow.
You're gonna have to get yourself some sub badges now. You ain't got a choice.
Yeah, I know. Oh, we have more gifted subs.
You guys, very,
Soundstorm, thank you.
Soundstorm.
very generous. Thank you so much, everyone watching this, doing that. Wow, and all the new follows. That's insane. Thank you so much. But I will. Please, I ask of you, if you have not heard of any of these, the people on the show right now, please go show some love over there as well. And we have all the thanks to give the Tsunamods right now for being on the show. So gifting subs to us, really, really appreciate it, and it means a lot to us. But it also would mean a lot to me. And Vinny, if you go check out everybody here, and we'll make sure we provide like Twitter links and Twitch links or whatever you guys want to be, seen and at the end of the stream. And so please check them out. Really appreciate that. This is crazy. That's crazy. Thank you. That's crazy. But what's even crazier is freaking Echo S8, which is amazing. I'm so excited to hear more about that. If you even are going to, like, I mean, just the announcement in itself is great. But I do also want to talk about everything that we saw in that trailer. Which is we're finding out that this is not just, Echo S for sure. It's got the fully voiced, but we're talking improved textures. We're talking a dynamic weather cycle. Is that what I saw?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Mods on
a day and night cycle. What is going on?
And encounters are going to be affected by the day-night cycle.
Eventually,
really?
yeah.
Oh, so you're gonna do something like Final Fantasy 13-2, I think it was, that did like at certain times or certain weather conditions, like different monsters come out. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Oh,
a planned feature. Yeah, it could take a while, but we'll get there. I can give a brief synopsis of like each individual mod you've seen there.
You're just speculating. Just you take it away.
So I don't remember what order they're in, and I'll try and get to them all. But I believe the first one that we saw was the ESUI mod, which is enhanced stock UI, which basically just improves the resolution and the look, makes it so much cleaner of the actual menu of the game, as well as the battle UI, which is so much cleaner now too. Alongside that, you can use Phoenix Tail avatars, which replaces your character portraits with remake ones with 3 different styles that you can choose from, because not everybody likes the same thing. We also had some brand new battle textures, which was actually created by Uprisen, who just popped up in the chat there. He redrawn every texture for the battle environments himself, entire game. It's absolutely incredible. In fact, he hid, I don't remember how many it is, but I think I'm going to say 7. He hid 7 Tsunamods logos in his mod. And he said once upon a time that if somebody could send him a screenshot of all 7, he'd have a reward for them.
Wow, okay.
That's kind of like the hunt, kind of like the 5 posters from Wutai. It's kind of like that.
Exactly, I was about to bring that up.
Turtles Paradise 2.0.
Chrysalis there in chat is the guy that created the ESUI mod as well.
Nice. Well,
and the remake ESUI is really clean looking too.
Yeah, there's a couple of themes that will be going with it. So we also had SYW5, which is AI upscaled, enhanced game. Everything.
Yeah.
Like we didn't want to have the trailer be like 20 minutes long, so we only put the fields in, but he has done like movies, he's done fields, he's done the magic, he's done the battles, the world map, everything. They are like absolutely insane, like best of its kind. As I think like a lot of people have heard of the Remarco mod, because the Remarco mod just blew up. Like whoever was their marketing manager killed it. But in my honest opinion, obviously everybody's allowed to disagree, but SYW just blows it out of the water, like easy. Then we had Cosmo Memory, who was created by Bones, who is in the chat as well somewhere. That replaces all of the sound effects in the entire game with more updated, modern sounding ones, as well as it contains 30 FPS movies that come from the SYW5 mod. And he's redone all the sound effects for those movies as well. And he even added ambient sound effects to every screen in the game. So if, say, for example, if you're walking around Wall Market, you'll hear people chattering in the background and like clinking glasses or something, like wind occasionally, which is, it adds so much life to the game.
Immersion, yeah. Wow.
And then there's the Cetra project, which is 3D models. I'm doing that one. I'm importing all of the remake models into the original game. that takes
I
a
saw
little
that
while.
Twitter post. I saw that Twitter post. I think I'll just,
Yeah.
cloud and finish it off. That's awesome. Oh my God.
Yeah, that one takes a while. But it's not the most fun thing in the world to do because it's very tedious. But I stream that stuff, and these guys keep me company while I'm doing it, and they laugh at me when I fail. So it's all good. And then obviously we have we have the day and night system, which is it's ridiculous. I still to this day can't believe that exists. We created time in FF7, but you'll have seen in the trailer. For a brief moment, they opened the menu and it highlighted an area in the bottom right where your guild usually is, and it actually says time and date now. Whereas previously it just said time, but the time was the actual time, like your
playtime.
Collection
Your
of your
playtime,
playtime.
Yeah.
Now it's your in-game world time, which does tick as you play, and the time of day does change as time passes. So the sun will go up and come down. It affects your fields and the world map, which is incredible. As was mentioned, we're going to do a difficulty mod to work alongside it at some point, so that if you go out at night, a little bit dangerous. The shops are going to close at 6 p.m.
Yeah, you let Ignis drive. Like,
yeah, and it's going to have some real world effects because the shops are going to close at 6 p.m. The bars might close at midnight. People are going to go home at night, the NPCs and stuff, and lock their houses so you can't just rape their houses. So yeah, you're gonna have to go to the inn and sleep. Yeah, sleep at the inn and pass time so you can go around and buy things. Like if you arrive at Calm at midnight, you're gonna have to sleep at the inn before you can go to the weapon shop before you leave. Even the weather, it can rain at any time randomly. It can thunder at any time randomly, and be high winds at any time.
So are we talking like in the overworld, or is this also going to be in towns? Like the weather.
The weather is in towns only right now.
Okay.
We haven't worked out if the world map will actually allow us to do that.
Yeah.
But NPCs will be affected by the weather as well. Like if it's raining, some might just go home. Some might go get an umbrella, change their model entirely to wear like a raincoat or something. And as well with the actual like the day and night, sure, that's one thing, but it's a calendar system too. Like it tells you it is January 2nd. When if you're in the month of December and you visit Calm, they're gonna have their Christmas decorations up.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are things that might take forever, but
Jesus,
we're gonna
right?
get there.
Yeah. These are, oh man, that's a vision right there, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
and then
awesome.
there's the voice acting, of course. And I would like to put out to everybody as well. Everything you see and everything I explain to you is optional. Every single piece. You aren't forced to use a single one of them because the goal isn't to please as many people as we can. The goal is to piss off as few as we can. by forcing nothing on you, that's the way to go.
Yeah, to please everyone, you can just turn off everything, and then eventually you just have the original game again. It's just like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
you just download all the mods, install them, and then turn them all off.
Yeah.
And there's unfortunately there was one mod we didn't have time to get in the trailer. It's a bit of a meme at this point, but it went kind of viral recently, and I think it's worth mentioning, which is the Barrett mod.
Barrett. We're Christian.
Brief explanation of that.
Voice acting for everyone though.
Oh yeah,
he has been asked to. Yes.
Every single person.
Yeah, I didn't think it was so satisfying to read Aerith's lines as Barrett. It's the most satisfying thing in the world.
Yes. Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know what the Barrett mod is, the entire world has been Barrettized.
Barrettized.
I'll leave it at that. Go Google it.
Wait, can I say something? What was funny was that if I had enough time, because I made the trailer, if I had enough time, what I was going to do, we were going to send you 2 files, and one of the files was supposed to be an April Fool's joke. It was going to start off exactly the same way, but then everything was Barrett.
It's like that's the file that plays
after the Peggy 16.
Yeah.
16.
I would have voiced that as Barrett too.
Peggy 16.
Let's hear Barrett say Peggy 16.
No, it was funny too because I was going to use. My plan was to use just one Barrett line for everything, like in different contexts. I was just going to use the getting off this train we on, like on like everything. Or like he's like running to Marlene, he's like, no getting off this train we on. And then he's like calling Cloud, is like, hey, no getting off this train we on. And then he's asking him to get off the train, like stuff like that. Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
That was
wow.
the plan, but then I just didn't have enough. I just didn't have enough Christian Sakanan in me. Like I was just one. So
Sadly,
Yeah.
And
sadly.
I suppose one
I mean,
one last thing
Dev-
worth mentioning is that obviously voicing the entire game is a very big challenge, and we have
Yeah.
these guys for that. But the typical way that I explain this is we're trying not to pull a Skyrim when it comes to the NPCs. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure we've all played Skyrim. Same
Mhm.
guy is in every town 4 times. You know, you can tell it's the same guy.
Yeah.
And we are voice acting all of the NPCs in the game as well. And the community are in fact the people that are doing that. So
Mhm.
if anybody in chat right now would like to be a part of the mod that you just saw, you can. Like you can be an NPC voice.
Yeah. So let's kind of touch on that just a little bit. How would they go about doing that? If you are interested in being a part of this project, how would you go about doing that? Would you message you on Twitter or what's up?
For the most part, granted, yes, you can. Any way that you have to get in touch with me, you can do it that way. But mainly we do it in the Discord. I've kind of established at this point that Thursdays are reserved for NPC Thursday. That's going to be the community night. I go live on my stream, myself and the project manager Uprisen. We sit in a call together and we bring people in from a queue system one at a time. We give you your lines so you don't have to like cycle through the game and pick an NPC yourself.
Yeah.
And then we live coach and direct you on the spot so that, you know, you don't have to, we don't just send you a notepad file and you go off and do it, come back and we're like, yeah, this is terrible, do it again. You know, we'll actually train you to act that line right there and then 10 minutes or so. And then you're out and we move in the next person and we just cycle through every Thursday.
Wow. Well, and you're going to be going through so many NPCs. That's insane.
I think there's about 480 NPCs in 7.
And that's the thing, like in just that right there, that statement that you said, it's just it kind of the process kind of just sums up your entire thought process on this project, in my opinion. Like it's not just a write it off and be done with it thing. Like you are putting so much love and care into each little thing here, even enough to say NPCs that you'll talk to once. We're going to sit there, we're going to live coach you, make sure you get the line right, and then go. Instead of, whereas you could have just said, here's your line, send me the MP3 and we're good to go.
Yeah.
So that's a labor of love, I would say, for this project. Also, I think this might be pretty easy for anybody who's in the modding community. But for maybe people who are watching this and really, really excited and interested about this. And now it says it's coming in 2021, which is this year. That's so exciting. When it does drop, how would somebody go about getting this getting this whole full package, or the Echo S at least?
Right.
How are they going to go about getting that into their Steam version, I imagine, or any PC version?
Any PC version for the most part, yeah. Basically, the easiest way is to join our Discord for the most part. We will be on like just about every forum that I can find that I'm allowed to post on. I'm going to advertise it literally everywhere. It should be really difficult to find.
We'll help
we'll
with
be
that
making
we can help.
Yeah,
It'll probably be
appreciate
big
it.
on the Final Fantasy Reddit. That'll be a good
I
start.
hope so. But they're always like, you know, don't self-promote and whatever. And
Yeah,
I don't know
we'll
what
do
those
it
are
so it's
like.
not self-promoting. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Promoting other people, yeah.
Hey.
Tangentially promoting.
Hey, guys,
Loophole.
that they're adding voice
I think
acting.
I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows
Yeah,
a guy
exactly.
who knows the guy. I am the guy. I mean, knows the guy.
I never.
We'll get like 5 people removed and then it'll be fine. Then it'll stay.
Yeah.
There was just 5 Barretts. That was it.
5 barrels.
So you said it'll work on basically any PC version of Final Fantasy VII. The version I have is off of the Xbox Companion app. It's Final Fantasy VII
Right.
for Windows 10 through Xbox. Would it work on that, or should I just go ahead and get the Steam version?
I'm
Just be
not
safe?
too sure about that one. I haven't tried it. As long as if the 7th Heaven mod manager works, then yes, you're good to go.
Okay, I'll have to download that and see. But I think I might just get it on Steam.
Seventh
But,
Heaven
yeah,
dot rocks.
The Steam and the like 2012 edition or something or other, that works. The emulated, you like, granted, people assume like, hey, I have this version, it's on my PC, but they're running it through PS1 emulator. No, will not work. Because the reason that all of this is allowed to work is because a member of our team created the FFNX driver, which is what runs all the mods, and you have to plug that driver into FF7. And
Is the like in the Steam version, is like the 3x speed God mode and all that other stuff gonna kind of mess with it, or is it have you worked around that?
I'm
think
not
that
entirely sure if
exists.
they actually work anymore, because we kind of unplug it from Steam a little, because it does break the achievements, because what we have to effectively do is convert your game back to the original version.
Gotcha.
But the driver has like 8 times speed hack in it. You can turn off encounters. You can even swap from widescreen to 4:3 at any time.
So there are mod equivalents essentially.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So yeah, do you want to touch on Echo S8 at all, or are you do you want to move on to we have a fun game with the cast here, the creator and cast, that we'll play next. But I mean, first of all, fan questions, please. Sound off right now, and Vinny will keep an eye on them and ask some fan questions before we move on to the mini game that we call them mini games. Just think like Jimmy Fallon, you know what I mean? We're just having fun. So, do you want to kind of touch on Echo S8 at any at all, or?
I mean, there isn't, honestly, at this point, there isn't that much to say.
Okay.
It's still reasonably new. I mean, me and Christian were kind of just on the phone one night, and we were like, "Hey, this would be a cool idea." Within half an hour, we had the auditions out. Yeah, let's just do it.
Very nice.
But I will use the same opportunity, just like the trailer that you've seen in FF7 with all these different mods that we kept adding on and get to Echo S and the full experience. FF8 is going to be the same.
Jesus.
Because we have access to similar tools, correct?
Yeah. Macindus Mods is in the chat. He plays Red 13 for us, actually. And he is the equivalent of me, but for Final Fantasy VIII. Like, he's done the entire game, upscaled, just everything. Wow. All of that stuff can be found in the Discord too.
So
real quick, what's the Discord link? Like, how do you get to Discord? Is it just Discord?
It was linked in the chat.
Okay, good, great.
I'll drop it again.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. You can,
very good.
90% of the mods that you've seen in that trailer are already available to download it at that Discord link.
Yeah,
you can just go get them.
Awesome.
Mitchell's wants to know, are there any funny stories or memorable moments while working on this project? To any of you?
Funny stories are always great.
I mean, there were plenty of funny stories just throwing that trailer together.
Yeah, just
honestly, I think one of our best stories as a group and not on it as individuals was when we went. I don't know if he's still here in chat or not. But, Money Benjamin, a streamer friend over there on Twitch, we went.
You cut out, Dustin.
Dustin, your voice is gone.
Am I still here?
Oh,
there you are.
There you are.
Use an echo screen, bro. You're silent.
Who got silent? Who did it?
That's the best.
Yeah, that's the logo.
That's the tagline for the show right now.
But we someone cast silence on me, damn it. You can't silence me, goddamn it! Who the hell you think you are? No,
I need to clip all of those for my own personal.
Yeah, we're
use.
the personal meme stash.
I'm gonna make Sid every single notification on my phone. It's like
good choice.
And I have Marlene on my stream. People just they activate it, and she just goes "dummy" at me when I mess up. When I'm working.
Nice.
Right.
But yeah, I think what was this, November? I think Suna that we kind of invaded.
I don't remember, honestly.
I think
it was
like,
such a night.
It was decades ago. Decades.
It was 10 of us.
We even have the
up in
clips
his
and stuff
stream.
of it.
Yes.
Oh boy.
We showed up in his stream and started talking shit in character, and it was absolutely hilarious.
But you got to tell them how it started, because you were the one that started it.
I was the one that started it, actually. He asked me to show up in his stream and roast him as Sid.
That's a bold move. Let's see how it pays off for him.
Oh, the clip of that is on his channel too, I believe. But we had some real zingers. Farron was in there with us, and he had some really good shit with
our Vincent.
Yeah.
Kennedy.
He was in chat as well.
Kennedy and Christina were killing it. Like I think Kennedy kind of stole.
There
the
was
show
so-
a little bit.
Kennedy was amazing.
I think my favorite part was because like a lot of Final Fantasy VII fans, I love the honeybee like in scene. And so my Kennedy mind went to stripper, Cloud. And then Azerath, I was like, Cloud, get to work on that pole or something like or Cloud be working that pole. And it just blew up and I was just like
I think one of my most memorable moments that night was actually from Reno, who is also in the chat right now.
Yeah.
But somebody was saying why is Tifa letting Marlene handle the bar? She's like 7 years old.
I said
And
that
then they were
last
talking
night.
about-
I said last night when we were playing.
Yeah, and Reno was like, no wonder Sector 7 had to go.
That was a pretty good burn. That was a really good
I'm
one.
a sham.
Like we still have all the clips in our Discord just for memories.
And then
It's so
there
good.
when the VA for Palmer showed up. Oh my dear.
Ooh.
I've been waiting for him.
I
tore
mhm.
into him. It was fantastic. It was great.
There was a couple things I said in there that I thought were pretty hilarious. What was the one I called his what was that? I said that his back boobs were bigger than Tifa's front boobs.
No, yeah.
That was it.
I do remember that.
Oh, great.
So we have a question from Sunasora. He says, or she says, do you plan on being able to make Echo S for console players in the future if allowed?
If it can be done, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
It's a case
from
of if it can, that's
Yeah,
From
that's,
my understanding,
that's a big if.
Very
Big
different.
if.
The
Yeah.
only mod I've seen translate to console in any way, shape, or form is they've been able to get New Threat onto the Switch.
Wow.
Mhm, yeah.
No.
Because
So
he can
that's-
hack
You
in.
have to jailbreak your
It
Switch
is
to do it,
possible.
though. It's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
from my understanding, the reason why like Skyrim and Fallout are able to have mods on consoles because Bethesda are the ones who allow it
Mhm.
Yeah, they
to
built
do
it
so.
in.
So Square would have to be on board with you guys to kind of be like, yeah, we'll port that over. Maybe if this is widely successful and they can remarket it and make money off of it again.
Oh yeah, I'm expecting
They
an
better
email
make
at
us
some point.
official cast members if that's the case.
Like, so
Exactly.
we're thinking of making another remake, but we're just gonna take your stuff if that's okay.
Yeah, Final
Pay a couple
Fantasy
of-
VII Final Mix.
Pay a couple of $1,000.
We got some. We got one from Lock Turner. You gonna read that one?
He's our
I'm-
BA49.
I'm going down the list.
I'm
there's,
sorry.
There's a lot of questions.
Okay.
Exactor says there must be hundreds and thousands of lines to voice. How many exactly are there?
Oh my gosh.
That's
You
a
really want to
great
know the
question.
number?
Do you
Yes.
have a number?
Yes.
Do you have a
Yes,
number?
we do.
Yes.
About
You're talking about
NPCs, right?
FF7, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Including NPCs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, we have. Wait, like I can find out. Hold on, because I had to do this work.
That's
Mhm.
insane. This is gonna be an insane number.
Well,
Yeah,
while
yeah.
he's doing that,
There's a few
strangely
commas
enough,
in there.
It's 13,500 lines.
13,500 lines. And each
Um,
of those are getting at least 10 minutes of love and care.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
no, but the thing that's hard about it is that these lines, quote unquote, these number of lines, some of those lines are equivalent to 5 lines, and then some of them are
Yeah,
equivalent
they're like
to
speeches. Yeah.
yeah,
Right,
some
yeah.
some of them are like, huh, you know,
Yeah.
and then
Those
some
are-
of them are just like when I was a child, and it's just the whole story.
One's a grunt, one's a death monologue.
Yeah, yeah. One's a
Really,
manifesto.
You're gonna have to really take a lot of time on the dots from Cloud. You
Oh, yeah.
really need to take a lot of time with this.
That's so funny. That's so funny because I actually don't. At first, I didn't record them, and then Suna was like, "You have to record them." I'm like, "Ah, shit."
That's it. There you go. There's your line right there. It's a Cloud just goes, ah, shit.
And just
That's his
500
dot.
takes of an annoyed sigh. Just
It's perfect. Like whenever he drops down, meets Aerith, she's like, "Hey, Do you remember me? Ah,
Otherwise, just Mori senpai, you know?
I'm drunk. Let's go.
Flower. I don't know what to say. You're the slum drunk. Oh.
So this is a question for Christian.
Oh.
How the hell do you pull off Cloud and Barrett's voice, seeing how different they are?
I think it's easier because they're different. I think it's harder when when you have multiple characters within sort of the same registry. So there's a difference between like pitch. So pitch is like a note, you know, so for people who play guitar or piano, whatever, like everybody can hit a pitch, right? But then sort of like the timbre of your voice and the quality of your voice, it changes, right? It also changes like depending which part of your mouth you're using. But Zinga. But what's important is that with characters like Barrett and Cloud, they're different enough that it becomes like my mouth is basically not the same when I'm using like Barrett, when I'm trying to sound like Barrett or when I'm trying to sound like Cloud. So it's like, so yeah, so it doesn't even feel like the same environment. It's like I'm you know, like Cloud on the streets, but like I'm like Barrett in the sheets, you know, it's like something like that. That's like something.
I can go with that.
Clip it.
Clip it.
So we have.
That's the description of the show. We're good.
Yes.
We got it.
See, our shows write the descriptions for us. We don't even have to do it. So what is each of the actors' favorite single line from their character?
Cloud in the streets and Barrett in the sheets. Jesus Christ.
Do you guys have a favorite line that your characters said?
I do. If I say it, it wouldn't necessarily be a spoiler, would it?
For 7?
Everybody's played 7.
Yeah,
you know, no, Dustin actually said that Aerith died, and I was just like, so
What?
All right. Okay.
He found out while typing the script for these guys.
All right.
Days are numbered, little lady.
Okay, David, I want to hear David.
All right. I am the chosen one. I have been chosen to rule this planet. And fuck, I did the hand motions as well.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, get it. You're gonna do it again? You're gonna do it again? Do it again, man. Let's hear it again.
Encore.
Yeah, encore.
All right. I am the chosen one. I have been chosen to rule this planet.
Man, the way you say planet, though, like, it's just perfect.
Awesome.
It has begun.
So with
right,
these amazing voices that you guys have, I'm gonna actually, if you don't mind, if you're cool with it, if you're not, then we can you can just say pass. But for the game that we're going to play is that I'm going to have you read a line. So what I will do is I'll copy and paste you a line into the chat and the chat of the Zoom meeting. So it'll be just for you.
Oh, okay.
And then you will read that line. Now, what the game of it is, they will have to guess if it is in fact the line of your character or if it's someone else's line. So for example, like let's just say Cloud reads somebody else's line, but he's, you know, Christian would be saying it in Cloud's voice and it would be convincing, and you'd have to be like, you know, did Cloud actually say that type thing. So we will play that. That's going to be the game that we're going to do. So we're going to hear more of those beautiful voices. But Vinny, do we have any more in chat that we want to? I love all the questions, but
there were two questions. I'll ask them both subsequently so that they could just be answered and we can move on to the game. First question is, are the voice actors from 8 going to be the same voice actors from 7? And are there any lessons that you've learned from doing the XXIV mod that you're going to take into XXIV 8?
Yeah, is that a me question?
I think
that's
yeah.
At least for actors, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would love to audition for 8. I'm just wondering like where my voice sits, which like female character I'd be.
Oh,
like,
what's her
okay.
name? I can't remember her name. The brunette girl that's
Alone.
I know. Is it
talking about
Renoa?
Alone? I know.
Renoa or Selfie?
Yeah, selfie?
Selfie. That's
Oh my god.
Okay.
You would be Selfie.
I love trains.
Yep. Exactly.
I need to get
Christian's
my
typing
auditions
notes
in,
already.
actually. I need to get
Who
my
loves-
auditions
Christian,
for
I
you
want to be a villain this time. I
You
will-
could
I
be,
will Alicia, maybe.
Cypher, go for it.
Do it.
What's your cipher?
I'm directing. It's my say.
Who loves hot dogs the most?
Yeah.
Yeah, who
Oh.
loves
That'll
hot
be
dogs
Zell.
the most?
Why we give?
Gazelle.
It's like it's a little personal question. Well, for the cast of 8, so the things that we are going to do is that one thing, the people, because a lot of the lines for FF7, majority of our voice cast is already done. So we've done probably, in terms of line submission, we're probably like 86% done. Like, and a lot of that percentage that's left is like, a lot of that is me, because I'm like, Cloud and Barrett have like the most lines in the game. But one thing I'm also like, we're gonna have auditions, but we want to try to keep things in-house because it just runs smoother that way. It was a very, 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 very big process trying to do Final Fantasy VII, in the sense that when people got it, it's not like a normal thing. We don't actually like we don't give scripts out. So one thing they had to do was they actually had to learn how to sort of semi-code or whatever. They actually had to go into the program and extract their own lines, and then had to work independently. And it's a system that I think is actually really efficient. It's the reason why we're like at this point already. But it's so hard to just get people to do that. One thing that a lot of people don't know, because you guys saw the cast list, correct? You guys watched the cast video, is that each role, including like people like Cloud, even people that I play and stuff like that, they all have understudies who could very well just take over the roles themselves too. And they're very good. And the reasons why we came to the cast that we have is just because voice matching. So there were girls who did awesome as Tifa and awesome as Aerith, but we had to find ones that matched, that to play in the game. And one thing that was really important is that I want the audience to know, and I want especially people who have been like working and watching the mods, is that you would be surprised like how deep the talent pool is in EchoS. Like even some of the NPCs that we're discovering during like Suna's live streams, like some of them are incredible, and some of them I just like, I'm there to like talent scout, you know, like I'm like with the turtleneck and I'm just like him, you know. And then sometimes we just bring them on, and so you're not going to get I doubt you're going to get like the exact same cast. No, you're definitely not going to get the exact same cast. You would be surprised at the voices that you haven't heard yet. You'd be surprised. Like some of the understudies, like it's so sad that they're like understudies, but they're amazing. Like they're amazing. So I think you'll hear more of them in FF8. And yeah, and FF8 has like a really, really colorful cast, by the way. More colorful than 7.
Yeah.
So like overall, even the NPCs, like and the GFs also talk.
Yeah, most of the GFs talk. There's a lot more colorful creatures. All the NPCs tend to be the Moombas, the Norg, like you know, it's a lot more. Even though it's kind of still a very sort of like sophisticated and like present day sort of world, there's a lot of like cartoonish creatures, so you're going to hear a lot more sort of just like out there voices to fit the more cartoonish atmosphere for those characters. Like the humans are still going to sound like humans, of course.
Well, Gags is asking about Ifrit in chat right now.
What? Bad idea.
Yep, there's one right there.
I eat all the students that enter my cavern. They all are so tasty.
They are so tasty.
I don't know what would give you that sort of idea. I have no idea.
Yes, your diet of sesame seeds.
One thing we can definitely reassure though is like if like it depends what place you're coming from when you ask a question like that. Like, is it going to be like, I really like these voice actors, are they also going to be an 8? Because that'd be amazing. Or it could be all these people play characters in 7, so if they play 8 as well, am I just going to hear the same voice and it'd be weird? Nobody's getting a position unless their voice fits absolutely perfectly. Like, we're not just gonna make Christina Quistis because she's really reliant on a great voice actress if her voice doesn't fit. You know, it's 8 will be.
I think this is in the planning stages. Everything's, you know, I mean, you shouldn't even be put on the spot for this one. So let's we can move on with that, and then like we can get on to the game if you guys want to. Do you guys want to do that? All right, awesome.
Awesome. We'll answer a few more questions.
That'd be another cool thing if we have the poll system. Like, you could like do like a 50-50.
I know, man. I tried looking.
Which character do you think that this was? You know, that'd be.
Oh yeah, that would be. What am I doing, man? I'm slacking. Amazing ideas. Yeah, I don't actually. I don't really know how to get that.
Hang on, just while you're doing that, I just saw someone saying they should do 9 and 10. Okay, 9 is something that I would.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Lord.
10 would 10 be worth it?
10 might be. That would be interesting.
It would.
It does have PC versions. 10 does have PC versions, right?
Yes. On Steam, the HD
Yeah, on
remaster is on there.
Well, why would we want to change that? Why would we want to change FF10?
I mean,
Perfect in every way.
Wait.
I said
we can have a Waka mod where everyone's Waka.
Yes.
Everyone's
I would play that.
I would love that.
I said on Twitter that I want to play a mod where Tidus's dialogue is replaced with his laugh at every single time that he speaks.
That does exist. Yeah.
And you just put it in with the Tidus redone soundtrack where it's just a laugh for all the songs. Yeah.
Oh, that's a way to test your sanity levels.
Yeah.
I mean, and I joke, 10 is my favorite Final Fantasy. So
mine too.
It's mine too.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
like I love it. It's goofy, but I love goofy.
So I can run a poll. I just figured it out right here.
Yeah.
We stalled long enough.
It's one thing for these guys to try and guess, but it'll be cool to see chat what they think. You can just like list 6 characters who said this line and just.
All right. Yes, so that's a beautiful idea. I'm just going to have to enter in. I'll do like a ABCD type thing. I can't type in every single character for every single line. You know what I mean? But I'll do like a ABCD and then give you answers. Okay, so here we go. All right, so we're gonna start with Kennedy. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we'll start with Kennedy. She's gonna read a line as Aerith.
Okay.
And you will have to find out if this is truly Aerith or somebody else.
Okay, well, I'll try my best. Here, I gotta like get in there. I feel nervous. I don't know why. It's not like I'm in like great company, you know? The knowledge and wisdom of the ancients is held in the materia. Anyone with this knowledge can freely use the powers of the land and the planet. That kind of sounds like something Aerith would say. Honestly, I think I just recorded this not too long ago. So that's why I'm like, wait. But part of me is wondering, like, if it
I'm
might
sure you're supposed to answer.
Oh, sorry.
Because you would know.
Oh. Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, that's fine too. That's fine too. Like you can even try to be like deceiving about it. Be like, oh yeah, totally, just nailed this line. You know, like.
Yeah. I love the way you say planet too. Like Aerith and Sephiroth both have very unique ways of saying planet.
Really?
Yeah.
So I have it's interesting that you bring up Sephiroth. I don't know if you can see the poll. Can you see that, guys? I can't see it.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so I have the current poll. Who was this character? Was it truly Aerith, Tifa, Sephiroth, or Bugenhagen?
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that.
Shit, no, that's definitely Aerith. Oh wait, that's not the line.
No, I think that's boobs. I think it's boobs.
So this one's running for it looks like we got another minute left on it. So you guys have any suggestions here? Like what are you guys thinking? What are you thinking right now? Do you think this is actually Aerith?
I put my vote in for Sephiroth.
Oh, you've already casted your vote. Everybody's cast their vote?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed. I was too busy trying to figure out this poll thing for the first time. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not gonna go.
Nice.
I wouldn't mind hearing Sid say that though. To be fair,
You know what? Here, I'll be the one Tifa vote. I'll vote for Tifa.
Because it's always Tifa.
It's always
Yeah,
Tifa.
it's totally.
Always. But where's Johnny? Johnny's supposed to be in there. No.
Oh, I love Johnny. Dude.
I love John.
So right
Totally.
now, Aerith has 9%, Tifa has 3%, Sephiroth has 74%, and Bugenhagen has 14%. It looks like Sephiroth has just won
answer
the
is-
poll. The answer is, in fact, maybe bringing this up. You did the knowledge of and wisdom, because you have 2 lines I sent you. That was the one you did, right? The knowledge and wisdom of the ancients. That was in fact Sephiroth.
Oh, for sure was Tifa.
That's even worse now. See, you were like, I'm sure I just recorded this line.
It was all a ruse, a clever ruse.
They all blend.
All right, so
In check, okay. Okay, roll a nat 20.
All right.
All right. Okay. Maybe I'll do 1 minute polls now instead of the 2 minutes. It seemed like we were pretty good there. We're moving right along. Okay. For this next one, I've already sent the line to Kennedy. You can go ahead and read this one. There's going to be 2 lines per person. So once again, same rules.
Okay. So I guess it right, or do I just let everybody deliberate?
Just sound confident that it was yours.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Like really try to fool people.
Okay, sure. All right.
You know, because then it could be like, wait a second, is she just, you know, like, is she playing us? Like maybe it isn't, you know, but it is, you know, or something like that.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's all right. You're here. Everyone's all together. Together, we can do anything. We've worked this hard already.
All right, I'm gonna submit some answers here.
I actually don't know.
I got this.
That's definitely Deku from My Hero.
Yeah.
Sora.
Sora, yes, Sora's gonna be an answer.
Sora.
See, for every person that actually thinks it's one of your lines when it isn't, that's a compliment. Like straight up. Like everyone in chat's confused too.
Okay, there we go. It started. It's Sora.
Yep.
My
I told
friends
you.
are my power.
My friends are my power. Kingdom Hearts is light.
We'll show them the real superpower of teamwork.
Yes. All right. So in the poll we have, you have Aerith, obviously. We have Red 13. We have Barrett and
I missed it. I should have voted for Barrett.
I should have voted for Barrett. In the voice mod, it's technically true.
Yeah.
So right now, it looks like Red 13 has got 1 vote. Tifa's got 30. Barrett has 3, and nobody is so far thinking that it's Aerith. So
Even though she said a line similar to that in Advent Children, that's the interesting thing.
Oh, you could have thrown you could have done
Oh.
a curveball there. Be like, oh no, she said this in another installment.
In like Crisis Core, in one of the novellas or something.
It was done in before Crisis. They're like, what's that?
We'll just have you shout "Cloud" and then just leave it at that. Like, who said this?
God,
one?
imagine
Like,
Ellipses,
That was indeed-
great.
that
Who
was
said
indeed-
ellipses?
Tifa. It was Tifa, and the results of the poll had Tifa winning that one. So there you go. Tifa, that was the line. That was the line. All right, so I'm gonna send this one. Kennedy, we went with you first. I don't want to keep you any longer than you said you might needed to go, but if you want to stick around, awesome.
Please do.
Need to leave. So thank you guys so much for having me on. I had a blast. I hope everybody has a great evening.
Thank you so much, Kennedy, for
Absolutely.
being on.
Bye, Didi.
Bye, Kennedy.
Had a great time.
Okay, so this one's going to be for my Lord and Master.
Hey.
This is for David. All right, we're gonna move this over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send it to you in Zoom. All right, so you'll see it in the chat. Okay.
I'm wondering, do you want to fill that empty space with
Now
another
you will
person?
read this. You will read this as Sephiroth. And I'll get the new poll ready.
All right. All humans die. What happens to them after they die? The body decomposes and returns to the planet. That much everyone knows. What about their consciousness, their hearts, and their souls?
Nice. That was
Okay.
really good. Very convincing too. It was really good. God, that Sephiroth voice is awesome.
That's what I was thinking, guys. If you can hear me.
I spent a long time working on that.
So
Granted, I did other characters in the interim, but you know.
Daniel, they were asking a question since the spot is open now. Did you want to get the Farron, the voice actor for Vincent, in?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If you want to jump in,
Look at if he's
sure.
still around. I know that
Yeah,
Reno's
sure.
still here as well.
Anybody who wants to jump in from
Barrett, are you
Tsunamods,
still in
come on,
chat
it's a
right
party.
now?
Let's go. It's all good. We've moved on to the mini game segment. So if you wanted to jump in and be part of the party, yeah, absolutely.
We should set up a stream one night where it's just this, like just the games,
Mini game night.
Yeah, I would love that.
Everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That would be fun. All right, so the poll was out, and it was Sephiroth, Red 13, Aerith, or Bugenhagen. Do you guys have any thoughts on who said that?
My first thought, because it was Hojo, but he wasn't on the poll, so I had to go away from Hojo. So I think I did go towards Bugenhagen.
Okay. Bugenhagen did win the poll at 25 votes. And then Red 13 was second, and nobody was convinced that it was either Aerith or Sephiroth. And it was indeed Bugenhagen.
It was still read real well though.
Yeah.
I know, right? God. All right, so this
Good
one,
old Boogs.
the good old Boogs.
Good old Boogs.
All right, so I'm gonna get one more line.
Farron is saying he does want to join, so if you can give him the Zoom information while we're reading that line.
Sure, yeah. Suna will take care of that. So this is your next one to read as Sephiroth.
All right. Why do people cling to life, knowing that they must someday die, knowing that none of it will have meant anything once they do?
Can we just say it out loud?
Yeah, I'm trying to I can't get the poll on this one, guys. So just go ahead and sound off on the in the chat with who you think it is.
Kefka.
Definitely.
It's funny. Spongy said the same thing, right, as you did.
That's definitely.
Did someone say it?
I said Pikachu. So
Pretty sure that's correct.
I would have believed you too.
That's actually what he's saying when he's saying Pikachu.
I'm pretty sure I heard that on a King of the Hill episode once.
Right. All right, so
it's SpongeBob. He's the one who said it.
Oh God.
So what was the everybody got there? Everybody thinking Deadpool. We got Vincent. We got Hojo. Yeah, I like this too, because then it doesn't narrow it down to just one or to four. This is everybody's going wild.
Way harder now.
Yeah. So the answer is in fact Kefka. From Final Fantasy. Little curveball there.
That's the curveball you were asking for.
Now, there's one line which a funny fact. There were some people that said, "Okay, what are lines that you want to say as Sephiroth, but will never actually work?" And one I just missed without missing a beat, because I'm also a Metal Gear Solid fan and also love the memes. And I just went, "Oh hotness, I want to bang you."
Oh my God. You would.
Oh, I can't believe I'm being hit on by the famous Sephiroth. Okay, shut up. Metal Gear, awesome. I love the awesome series.
All right, so this one's gonna be for you, Christina. I'm sending it to you in chat.
Dun dun dun.
Make sure I'm okay.
Oh.
All right, did you get it? You're gonna read it off as Tifa?
Yep. Okay. It's too dangerous. I can't let you get involved. Blah blah blah.
Who says that? Who says that?
This isn't fair.
I know
I actually
exactly
know
who
this
says
one.
that.
I have a guess.
I know exactly who says that. Now,
See,
where's
we
the
got
poll?
a lot of Aeriths, a lot of Aeriths. Somebody said, wait.
Wait a second.
Wait a second.
Wait.
It's Aerith. If I'm following the chat, Maverick said, Cloud, wait. Fuck, it's Aerith.
I guess
Okay.
it's for Tifa and Yuffie.
Got a couple Tifas and Yuffies. All right, the actual line is from Aerith. So good job, chat. Good job. Good job. All right, so we got another one for you.
One more.
And I got to bring it over to Zoom. Really need to get Discord, guys. I want to have that working next time we do something like this.
Hey, but yeah, though I think this might be better, at least for me, because for some reason Discord hates my camera.
It did hit your camera yesterday.
Yeah, you were gritting.
That was what we having problems with somebody who was trying out Discord that we started FFTV with, and he couldn't get it to work. Yep, there you go. So Christina, you have your next line.
Okay. Have you lost your way? When that happens, we each have to take a good long look at ourselves. There's always something in the deepest reaches of our hearts, something buried or something forgotten. Remember it.
That's a good team.
That sounds like
there's so
Kingdom.
much
That sounds like
talent here.
Kingdom Hearts. That is.
Yeah,
Kingdom
it sure
Hearts.
does, doesn't it?
Yeah, that is Kingdom Hearts shit right there.
All right, we have let's see, Nominee.
I have no idea
From
actually.
Kodiak's
Yeah.
Nominee. Let's see,
Don Corneo.
Don
Don
Corneo.
Corneo, that's a
That's it. That's some Kyrie. Okay, we got Boogan from Maverick.
Bugenhagen, good old
Bugen.
Bugenhagen.
Oh wait, yeah, all right. So we'll be back to you soon, Asura. We're gonna make that happen. I think maybe. All right. Do you guys want to know the actual answer here? You guys want to know it, or you just want to like leave that up in the air and never know?
Let's figure it out.
That is Bugenhagen. That's Boogan. Boogan.
Ah,
Yep.
Such a
I thought it
fun
was an
name to
Aerith
say.
type, or not an Aerith, Tifa type thing to say. And
Yeah.
then like hearing you read it, Christina, I was like, I'm convinced. I have the answer right in front of me. I'm convinced it's Tifa. I don't...
Right. Farron says he's just waiting on you to accept the call thing.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I
whatever
do
that
have to
is,
do that.
and then
There we
we're
go.
good.
I do have to do that. Farron, this is the voice of Reno?
Vincent.
Vincent Valentine.
Vincent.
Oh.
It's
Wow.
dark in
So
there.
so dark and mysterious here.
the darkness.
Yeah.
The
He's
darkness.
already in
Completely
character.
dark.
Yeah, already in. Yeah. Gonna pop out of the casket. Here
Oh.
it comes.
Hang on, Farron is connecting to audio.
Oh.
Oh, still
Nope,
can't
still
hear
no
you.
Don't
audio.
hear you.
What's up, Farron?
Make sure it's actually connected to your mic.
Excuse
Mine
me.
wasn't.
Excuse me.
There
Hello,
you
everybody.
There we
are.
are. There we are.
All
Welcome.
right.
We have Farron. Thanks for joining.
There you go.
Thanks for jumping
My
in.
camera always does this. It likes to like darken for some reason.
Well, you are Vincent, so.
Yes, that is true.
Okay, hold up. I'm having trouble hearing everybody. Do
Hmm.
you guys know how I can activate that?
Nah,
So
not
you
through
can't
Zoom.
hear us through the call. You hear us through the Twitch stream. Is that what you're saying?
Hmm.
Just gotta wait for the delay.
Yeah, I can hear you guys through the Twitch stream, but
Okay.
I can't hear you guys through the call.
So Farron, next to the stop video button, there's a little up arrow, and then click video settings. And then if you go down, there's actually an audio
Mhm.
tab in there.
I'll be
and
right back,
swap
guys.
it to be your headphones.
In fact, let's see. I'm gonna get the next one going. But I do have to be. I will take like just a couple seconds.
There we
Um,
go. Okay.
So
You
let
can hear
me
us now.
share this. Who's next? We're gonna give this one to.
There we go. Yeah, I can hear you guys now.
Awesome.
Good.
Yay.
Alright, sweet.
Yay.
Hit it in the video settings.
All
For some
right.
reason.
All right. What's up, everybody? How you
There he is. What's up,
Hey.
Farron? Thank you so much for joining.
doing? Yeah.
It's awesome. So yeah, well, you know what, Farron, as I take this a little bit of a break, why don't you tell the audience who you are, what you do, your role for Echo S, and you know how it was voicing Vincent.
So okay, let's see if that helps. a
It
little bit.
does. We see more of you now.
There we go.
Yeah.
People in chat are
there
asking
we
if you
go.
can get your room to match mine.
There we go. Now I look handsome. There we go. All right. For voice acting, this is the first time I got back into something that involved creative skills for a few years. When I was in high school, I was really big into acting. I had my own band. I was really into vocal music, acting. And then for a few years, I kind of worked and did a lot of different jobs. So after a lot of time, I just kind of settled down and I said, okay, well, let's get back into some hobbies. What do I want to do? And I started getting into streaming, and lo and behold, I was actually trying to play Final Fantasy VII, modded Final Fantasy VII. And lo and behold, I get found by Mr. Tsunamods over here. And this is back when I didn't have like a camera or a microphone or anything. Like, it was really like cringy.
Type it in chat to me.
like it sounded like an Xbox microphone kind of mic, you know?
Couldn't have been worse than what I started with.
Oh, it was hilarious. And over time, he kind of taught me the ways of being the streamer, and we became friends through me being inspired by how cool of a streamer he was, not to mention the content. So then later on, there's auditions for this Echo West project, right? And a lot of my friends and people are like, hey man, why don't you go try out for it? You know, because I would play the games and I would kind of voice act the characters while I would play through them. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll give it a shot. And I was ultra nervous, like super nervous. So I spent like a good 2 or 3 weeks just trying to get this voice like to what I could imagine was just perfect. And then I submitted my my audition. And then the whole time, like, I was just nail bitingly nervous to like find out the results. And then when I found out, like, I was like, is this real? Is this serious? So this is like my first big project, but it really got me into more of like enjoying voice acting as a hobby, and enjoying kind of studying characters, learning more how to kind of like actually bring these characters from a 2-dimensional into a 3-dimensional realm. So, you know, when we're actually experiencing this mod or this gameplay, if you will, we're actually experiencing it in the same way, like kind of how Final Fantasy X grabbed us the first time when we heard the voice acting. I'm really hoping that's the same kind of magical attachment that people have when they go through the game and they're like, oh dang, like that NPC talks. Every single character talks, including the main characters. Everybody has a thought. It's like gonna bring the game to life. So I think it's super cool, just all the people I got to meet through this experience. Because like I said in the very beginning, like I met some of these people like in the Money Benjamin stream a long time ago. And one of the first things I said is like, I just think you guys are all really cool. And I really respect what you guys are doing. And I'm just really excited to be here. And over time, I got to learn a lot of cool things from all these different people. So I got to be honest with you. I'm just really into voice acting and Final Fantasy. I'm just kind of like the guy that just loves all the games pretty much. So that's me in a nutshell.
That's awesome, man. I caught the end of that, and that's really cool. This is it, man. You're gonna be immortalized in Echo S, not in Final Fantasy VII. That's amazing.
Steve Bloom liked one of his tweets.
Oh, dude.
I always have to say that. I'm sorry.
Oh, dude, I geeked so hard, man. I like had a tear roll out of my eye. That was a great day.
Oh man. All right, so Luke, Luke, yeah, this one's gonna be for you to read as Wedge.
Okay.
Oh gosh, this is gonna be so fun.
This is gonna be good.
This is gonna be good.
Wow. Used to be in Soldier, all right. Not every day you find one in a group like Avalanche.
Who said that? I was like, what we're gonna do here to get Suna involved here. Suna, this is gonna be like kind of you're in the hot seat, right? And you're gonna have the final answer. Now,
That's not fair.
You're gonna use
That's fair. No, that is not fair. He's actually seen every single dialogue in the game.
Yeah, to be fair,
that's not fair. But you know what? Let's go for it.
That would suck though, because if you like hyped it up like that's not fair, he's seen it and then he's like, I don't know. no.
Oh, that's precisely why I did it.
You know how
Suna
often-
can't possibly fail this. Can't
Like
possibly.
anything before War Market, I've been like beta testing over and over.
That's true.
All right, hang on,
That's
guys.
true.
I got a question.
Okay.
Cadbury cream eggs. How do you do it?
How do
Oh, is
you
it
do
Easter there? Oh, it is Easter there right now.
He's in the future, remember?
Oh, he lives in the future. That's right.
Yeah, Aussie
It's
Roth, Australian.
Yeah.
Well kept secret. Well kept secret.
Yeah, he's the inspiration for the FF7 remake Sephiroth.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say they do say that Sephiroth is from the future timeline. So. All right. So we got. Is it Wedge? I'm checking the chat. I did see a bunch of Biggs, Wedge. I mean, this is only limited to a few people who actually mentioned Avalanche here. So,
man, I know this answer.
Yeah,
but-
Yeah.
What do you guys got? What do you guys got?
I'm pretty sure it's.
I know for sure. So
I know. Yeah.
What are you thinking? Somebody says
it
Jesse.
Wedge? Is it Wedge?
That's why I
Okay, I'll give you a hint. I have voiced this character before.
Oh,
well,
is it Wedge?
Is it Wedge?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Right. So, you guys want the answer? You guys want the answer?
Yeah,
Go on, I'm going for Biggs
This
on this
line
one.
in particular is from Biggs.
Biggs.
Yeah, one of the first lines in the game.
Fun fact, I actually hold a very special distinction in that I have voiced both Biggs in Wedge in Final Fantasy 6, 7, and 8. Across my career.
That's awesome. That's how you got
awesome.
the job. Yeah.
Yeah. So not always at the same time, sometimes at the same time, but yeah, but not for Echo S. No, I'm just Wedge for Echo S.
Actually, just something that hit me as well. I'm also a huge Star Wars nerd, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
Particularly the original expanded universes and all that jazz.
Mhm.
Big shock, I know. But I was always so happy because like Big so much Star Wars reference, and then I was told by, and then I remember Nita as well in Final Fantasy VIII. But then there was this one guy who told me, "You're missing the third big one from Final Fantasy VII." I went, "Oh really, boy? Challenge me." All right, who's the third Star Wars character that's got a name in there somehow?
I know this. Yeah.
Like what? There was a third? Okay, I should know this. I'm like, oh wait, of course there's a third. All right, thinking. I went, all right, here's a hint. The Red Dog. I went, really? What's his actual name? Nanaki, or Nanaki, as some of us used to say. Like we used to say Sephiroth, not Sephiroth as well.
Sephiroth.
And Tifa, not Tifa. But they said, okay, do you know what an anagram is? I went, yes. Rearrange these words.
I know this.
Nanaki.
Hey.
Oh, what? I never knew that.
Oh my god.
Like,
Yeah.
how did I miss
Impressive.
that?
That's impressive.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't put that connection together. I thought the Nanaki was when I looked up the name and the meanings of it, it was something like sister of Nanaka or something like that. And I was like, well, that doesn't make much sense for Nanaki, for like why, or Nanaki or whatever you want to call it. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why is the meaning of Nanaki the sister of Nanaka? Like that? What? So that's cool. Anagram of Anakin.
There's the big one in 9 too.
Yeah. All right, so we got Wedge.
Yeah, one more.
We got one more line. There it is.
All right. The next mission will be to blow up the Sector 5 reactor. Cloud, you're great. Don't you ever get nervous, or are you like impervious to feelings?
That was that ...
It's Bart's
Wedge
from
as
Dissidia.
himself is what Cenosaurus does. Wedge as himself. A lot of Wedge. It almost looks unanimously Wedge, and it is indeed Wedge that says that line.
I knew it. What a magnificent curve.
Yeah. I mean, Wedge is one of the few characters that talks to Cloud about his feelings. It's like him and Tifa. So it's like, I could have been Tifa.
You could have.
Totally.
I was the understudy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this one's for, let's see. We got to get Sid. We got to get Sid in here. All right.
If it doesn't have a curse word, it's not Sid.
It's not Sid.
Now, but if it does have a curse word, it could also be Barrett.
Barrett or Sid. Also, another thing Echo S is bringing to the table that Remake didn't, cursing.
Yep.
Right?
Totally
This is
uncensored.
Peggy 16. That's
I'm fucking used to it. I'm gonna be dropping F-bombs like goddamn things that you drop from the sky.
Just go back. All right, this one's coming. You get your line. There you go.
Oh, okay. This planet still a kid. A little kid sick and trembling in the middle of this huge universe. Someone's got to protect it.
Who we got? There's a couple characters in Final Fantasy that talks about planets and stuff.
I think it can go back to that the safe guess of old Boogs.
Oh,
I know who it is.
Boogs is my
Boogs
guess.
is popular here.
I know exactly who it is. There's no poll there.
I can make a poll. You want me to make a poll?
My vote.
A lot of people are saying Sid. So that's
actual Sid.
It's definitely one of the two.
Oh, we got one.
I know.
I like that Chocobo Billy. Could be Chocobo Billy. I like that.
But Chocobo Sage, right?
Yeah.
Chocobo Billy.
The sleeping guy from Mithril Cave.
This guy are sick.
This
Which
guy are sick.
that line
Which
line
stays, by the
is
way.
staying.
I would start the poll, but it looks like it's pretty decisively Sid or a few Barretts in there. Somebody says Dio.
Dio could be.
Could be.
He is talking about Zawildo.
All right, so the answer is Sid Highwind. Yep.
It was Sid Highwind. All right.
Sid. All right. So we got another one.
Such a good
Never
line.
know who we got. Okay, did I? Okay. There we go. Did you get that one?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that all you can do? Give one-word answers and apologize for everything? Do something. I'll be expecting results.
Oh, I know what it is.
I know what that is, but that still fits really well.
That's really good.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, could I say who this one is?
That's definitely Sid from FF8.
Aerith's mom.
Yeah.
Mitchell.
Oh, it'd be hilarious in Echo S8. It would be kind of interesting the first time you run into Headmaster Sid. You hear a little bit of Highwind before, like a word and a half of Sid Highwind before a little bit of audio editing actually puts it to who actually is voicing Headmaster Sid.
Yeah,
that would be great.
That would be
Oh my
hilarious.
gosh.
That'd be hilarious.
I'm
What is
loving
it?
the comments right now.
Oh,
What was that? What's that
Wild-
called? The Bernstein Bear effect or something like that?
Oh yeah.
You're just like, what?
There is a couple of things that I remember from chat a little bit ago while people are still, putting their guesses out there. Something that some people wanted me to say. It was actually a Solid Snake line.
I heard somebody ask you.
Aaron, you probably know exactly which one this
I was
is.
the one who asked you to say it.
Oh, that was you.
That's right here.
All right. Well, I was paying attention.
That was me.
that was me.
No.
So, Colonel, I'm dummy. Oh, wait. Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick, and the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
Real unfortunate problem.
I love that.
No offense, but I did like it better when Pooh Bear said it.
Well, you know,
Classics.
if he did that right by Duke Nukem, he'd be like, "Yeah, you better start
my
wearing some
gosh.
tighter pants than you fucking asshole."
Oh,
I love talking to voice actors.
Since
hang on, Daniel. You want a fun
You
time?
see why I do it now.
Play cards against humanity with voice actors
Oh
because a lot of us.
Oh yeah.
Different voices.
Oh,
That would be great.
Cards
Actually,
Against
just-
Humanity would be awesome.
So I don't know if we did we give the answer to this line. I think
No,
we did.
no.
we didn't
I
yet.
think
A
I know
lot of
who it
people.
is, though.
It's very.
Suna, who is it?
It's Rufus.
That's Rufus. Yeah.
Oh
It
yeah, for
fits
sure.
Sid really
Rufus
well.
for sure.
I can imagine
Right,
Sid
yeah.
like
Mhm.
inside that building
The
where you
Shinra
put planes that I
26?
forget the name of. But you know, like he's got like the people working underneath him. He's like, just get it done. You know, build that rocket. Hurry up.
Yeah. But man, that was convincing though. That was a convincing.
And be sure to go and check on Tank 8. There's some kind of problem with the junction system.
Something with the junction. Oh man.
Oh my
All right, so
gosh.
this one's
Team
going
4-star
for-
reference right there.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got that reference. So Vinny, did you have anything ready for Vincent?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right. So look, I didn't know that Vincent was joining, so I didn't have anything
Oh, of
prepared.
course.
But Vinny's on it, so Vinny's gonna send you something in chat.
Okay.
Okay, so I have to send it to him directly.
Let's just hope that it
How,
contains the word yeet.
Do you want? Oh, you sent it. You sent it to me. It
I
looks
did
like
send it to you, so can you send that
I can
to him?
send it
'Cause
over
I don't
to
know.
him.
how
Yeah,
to-
yeah.
Could say yeet. Okay.
It's happening to you now too, Vern.
Okay.
Here you go.
Oh, his screen's. Oh, his room's
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
color.
Yeah.
People messing with his room
That's
too.
so cool.
Wait a second.
Ah, that's funny.
Where am I getting this message from?
It should
Wait,
be
what?
in your Zoom.
Uh,
Should be in
chat.
Zoom.
Yeah, click the
Okay.
chat button at the bottom.
All right, hold up. Here we go.
It looks like it's sent.
Oh, so you want me to say this in my Vincent voice?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Act it as best as you can.
Okay.
Yep.
Convince everyone it's you.
All right. This planet's still a kid. Little kid sick and trembling in the middle of this huge universe.
Oh wait. Was that the right one?
No.
No, I don't think
That
so.
was-
I think
that
that
one
one's
already.
So good though.
that one got
was
snatched out
so
of
good.
recycling.
That was
That
so
was
good.
very
What do you do? Do you
I
want
may
me?
have sent-
What do you
I
want me to
practiced.
do?
I
It's
sent you the
practice.
wrong one. I sent you but that was so good. Somebody's
was
already
good.
said that one before, but God. Okay, so hey, let me try and do it this way. This should be it.
But if you want, I have a website that just has the game script on it.
Oh,
and you can just snap things from it.
oh, okay. That's what you want me to say. All
Okay.
right, I got you. Okay.
Sounds like a weird hotline. Oh, that's what you want me to say. All right, baby.
That's gonna cost extra.
Yes.
That's what
All
this is all about.
The
right
only
now.
the OnlyFans link is right there. I'll say it for you.
I got you. Okay. Oh wow.
Oh, good
Oh
God.
wow. Disco party.
Thanks for
Freaking-
following. Thanks for the follow. That was awesome. All right. Pain doesn't hurt if it's all you've ever felt.
Oh,
That's
since
so
I didn't create
Vincent-esque
these, like
too.
since this is all Vinny, so now I'm kind of like this is. I know how you guys feel now. So
Interesting.
That really
Good going.
worked though.
Interesting.
who says that?
Oh.
Pain doesn't hurt if it's all you've ever felt.
Sounds
have
so
another
much
one.
like that's
It does
that.
sound like Vincent.
First of all,
It does sound like Vincent Lane.
First of all,
Yeah, that's the thing.
amazing Vincent voice. Like
Mhm.
Well, I
wow.
saw another good. Right, I saw another really good guess in chat too.
Okay, we
That's
got
a very Vincent thing
we
to
got
say.
Dine.
I'd say.
Dine is a good guess.
Mhm.
Mm,
Oh, Dine, yes.
might be
Metal
Dine.
Gear.
Yuffie? Yuffie maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, Sophie Luke.
I'm totally lost on that one.
Oh man,
So
that is. I mean, that is.
wait. This is not a. This is from Final Fantasy VII or no?
yes,
Okay.
Interesting.
that's well. I think
Because it
Chocobo
helps a little.
Billy.
Because I was.
that our script is different from the original,
no,
so we
no.
don't just
Yeah.
recognize
Choco.
them.
Yeah.
That friend Amy says Chocobo Billy. That's the answer right there. Chocobo Billy.
What was that, David?
It could be Chocobillion, you know, his
Oh my
gosh, dude.
It is from Final Fantasy VII.
That's the
original.
best
That's the
answer.
source.
Oh, okay. So it's from because I thought it was Buddha.
It's actually the surviving Cetra inside the Temple of the Ancients. It can just say Nook Nook.
Dude.
Oh, the guy who looks like the chocobo.
We need to voice that.
Oh yeah,
thing.
dude. I love those little guys, man. I really do.
So
All right,
looks
so
like
do
you
you want me to-
stomped it. This is a good one, Benny. What you got, man?
Oh,
Any
are
last
we
minute
supposed to
guesses?
guess?
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
last minute
absolutely.
guesses? I'm about to
Yeah,
give it-
my last guess is Vincent.
Minerva.
I'll go with my gut and say Vincent.
It's Genesis.
Somebody
No, I'm
said
kidding.
Midgarzala. Oh god,
The
Genesis.
Midgarzala. Right before Sephiroth killed him.
So it was a Vincent line.
It was
That was
Vincent.
Vincent.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
I am sending you another one.
Christina got that one right. I
Okay.
think there might have been the only one. I was like, I don't know.
I was about to
Did you
say
get that one?
Adele. I'm like, that sounds like something Adele would
That's
say.
Adele. What's
Adele's three
Oh,
lines.
That's most
yeah.
definitely Adele.
I was
I'm-
split between Vincent and Dine, so shit.
Dine was a really
Yeah,
good
Dine,
guess.
Dine was really good. I was on the
Yeah.
Dine train.
Me too. Me too.
Okay. I'm really excited about this one because I hope chat will be able to know who this is immediately.
I hope so too. I did this purposely to try and stump everybody.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right.
It's not Vincent.
There's all kinds of temptations in the big city. I'd feel better if I knew you'd found a good girl to help keep you out of trouble.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I know what this is.
Well, yeah, I know that one.
Do we have to guess it? Do we have to guess it?
Well, do you? Well,
Vincent's mom, too.
everybody's saying Cloud's mom. Do you guys know what her first name is?
Her name is Claudia.
Claudia.
Okay,
Claudia Stray.
correct.
I
Cloud's
want to know who
mom.
Vincent
Okay.
was talking to, if that was Vincent.
I don't know.
That's great. That's great. All right. Well, we
No,
have-
he was talking to Hojo, and then Hojo took his advice and took Lucrezia, and he's like, "Fuck!
No.
I should have never told him that. I followed
Last
your
time I did
advice, and I took your girl."
Bitch.
It's a never-ending cycle.
We have the director of Echo S coming up now. This is the voice
Suna?
of Barrett.
Oh, okay. I was like, Suna. Okay.
All right, here it comes. I'm going to send you a chat. You're going to read this as Barrett.
Do I have to do Barrett? Okay, whatever. Oh,
You can
man.
do it, Sicko.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. Oh man, how do I approach this line?
Suspense.
These hands are a little too stained to carry her anymore.
Good look. That's the first time we've heard that on stream. That was great, dude.
And that is Dine.
That is Dine.
That's Dine.
Yeah.
That's Dine.
Definitely
Everybody,
Dine.
what we got here?
Yeah.
Somebody said Vincent, though. You know what I mean? I got one person.
Actually, I'm gonna say Midgarzalem again.
the Midgarzalem.
Marlene.
That's Marlene. All
Dummy.
right. I'm gonna give you
Just while you're
Your
doing
choice.
that, a
Your
funny
choice.
story. Just a funny story about me. When I first played Final Fantasy VII, I was an early age teenager, and I was playing it with my elder brother Robert. We did everything together when we were kids. But when my brother is a Mormon, like a Mormon elder, and we always tried to keep the language clean at home. But the first time we saw the Midgarzalem, I was just in absolute shock and awe, and I just went in a 13-year-old boyish voice, "Jesus fuck!" And Rob just went, and my brother, the Mormon brother, just went, "I'll let that slide," because I was thinking the exact same thing.
It's scary out there. It's like bad but fair. You can pass on that one. Pass.
Yeah.
Oh, yellow card. Pass.
Yeah, get a yellow card. You get a flag.
That's a warning, but a half warning.
All right, so this one's up for you, Christian.
Okay.
This one for
He has. You have
Always
which
complaining.
voice? In which voice?
And yes, it was dying.
Oh, wasn't was the last one dying?
It was.
You know,
it wasn't. It was
if you
not.
change the words a little bit to that one, it is actually still Barrett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he
That's what
repeats
makes
the
it
line.
great.
Mm-hmm.
He repeats the
Now
line.
then,
That's true.
do it.
So is line 2 for Barrett or Cloud?
We're about to find out.
I'll just do them
Nice.
both. I'm kidding.
We'll do them both, and then which one was the right one?
And they'll harmonize in the end. No.
Yes.
Okay, how about this? It's like this train. You can't run anywhere except where its rails take it.
Well, I know that one.
Oh, you son of a
That's Cloud.
That's Barrett,
Just
man.
different voices.
Oh wait,
too.
no, hang on. Read that line again.
Oh, okay. It's like this train. You can't run anywhere except where its rails take it.
It's Cloud. It's
That's
Cloud.
definitely
Say
Cloud.
I've got the
It's Cloud, dude. There, I said
Yeah.
it.
Well, let's read it as Barrett. Let's read it as Barrett and see what happens. See what happens.
It's like this train. Can't run anywhere except where its rails take it.
That's the annoying thing is,
That's
both
convincing
of them say
too.
that line, but in different ways.
Yeah, they do say. That's why when I got this line, I'm just like, man, everyone's gonna know it's gonna be either Cloud or Barrett. But they're gonna know.
Specifically.
I thought you're gonna throw me. I was like excited for some curveballs and stuff.
I got you another one.
Okay.
Got you
Oh,
another one.
oh, I get three.
Well,
Yeah, you're two characters, so it's double the work.
Oh, I see.
Wait, technically, I mean, Christina is also. Wait, who does Jesse as well? I forget.
That's,
now.
No,
that's Kennedy.
That's Kennedy.
That was
That was
Kennedy.
Kennedy. Okay.
All right.
You're all
But
too
a
damn
moment's like,
talented.
Vinny, find me a curveball one because I had listed one for
Sharon.
someone else that I thought was going to be on the stream, but it's not. So I don't want to give it
Yeah.
away because I might send it out and
Right.
mix it in here.
Find a curveball one. Okay.
Yeah, find a
Well, while
curveball
you're doing
for
that,
Christian.
I still haven't figured that out, so I'm going to let fate decide. If it's heads, I'm calling it to be a cloud line. If it's tails, yeah, like that, that's the Australian dollar. We have kangaroos on it. Tails, I'm saying it's Barrett. So,
All right.
Go for it.
it is Barrett. Who said the
Barrett.
line? Hey!
No.
Gold always.
I'm just kidding. It's Cloud.
It's actually Cloud. It's
It's
Cloud.
from the very beginning of the game.
Like you said. Of course, that was the big fucking clue.
It
Yeah.
was Cloud.
Oh, Amarita.
It was
All
Cloud.
All right. Next.
All right, so we have Vinny's gonna get you a good curveball here. All right.
In the meantime, though, there is somebody in chat who wanted to hear Sephiroth sing the Chocobo song that Promptu sings from
Oh my
Final
god,
Fantasy 15.
I heard that. I saw that in chat a long time ago. I'm so happy you brought it back. Do you know which one it is?
Yeah, but I can't remember the lyrics. I did
It's just like
my Chocobo all day.
Oh, look, we got everybody singing.
Yeah, but come on, man! Like, let's harmonize, everyone.
Type the lyrics in the chat.
He's feeling.
Yeah, please do.
It's really just I just want to ride my chocobo
I
all
want
day.
to ride my chocobo.
Yeah, I want to ride my chocobo all day to the beat of the chocobo song.
I want to ride my chocobo all day. I wanna ride my bird.
Sephiroth,
I
it's
wanna
even
ride my bird.
Dude, I'm telling you, like singing as Sephiroth is a challenge.
We need
like,
to, singing as Sephiroth.
Well, I actually have a little bit of experience with that one myself. Because,
What?
Yeah.
Yes. Rabtunes, another channel on YouTube, has some really good stuff. They do like crudely animated parodies of all the Final Fantasies, Final Fantasy in a nutshell.
Yeah.
In one of the most recent ones that came out was for Crisis Core.
Hmm.
I actually
Seka
played
here
Sephiroth in that. Yes,
You played
and
Sephiroth in that?
I played Sephiroth in that, and
Awesome.
Christian here was Genesis.
Okay.
But
He's also Genesis in Project M, so there's a reason why for that. It's
Right.
good.
one of the things I had to do as Sephiroth for that episode was sing the theme song from What's Up With That on Saturday Night Live.
As Sephiroth. Can we get a
as
little
Sephiroth.
taste? Can we get a little taste of that right now?
What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh wee. What's up with that?
Singing as Sephiroth.
And apparently, for an April Fool's joke, they decided to do a Final Fantasy VII remake in a nutshell, which was just a couple of additions visually here and there on their original FF7 in a nutshell. But it's a 23-minute video, and the content itself ends at like 8 minutes in. The rest of the video is me as Sephiroth on loop for 15 minutes. I did not realize that they had turned my Sephiroth singing into a fucking Rickroll.
That's my new style soon screen now.
What's up with
amazing.
that?
They turned it into a Rickroll, and I'm kind of proud of it.
What is indeed up with that?
Oh my God.
But you know what? I want to challenge myself right now. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see if you recognize this. I'll be amazed if you don't. In the first 3 fucking words. Rather, 3 words on a letter. I would be lost. Drifting along, floating up high, time after time. And there you'd be, shining brightly, your smiling face to guide my way. Why does it work so well for Sephiroth?
Pretty sinister from
That's
his
amazing.
perspective.
That was amazing. Good job,
Cheers.
man. What? Because Sephiroth is singing that about Aerith. That's
Mm-hmm.
the whole song's about it. That's why it fits so well.
Yeah. This
So,
time, instead
I,
of stabbing her in
how
the
did
back, he wants to.
How did you even
No, he's
think
singing
of
it
that?
as he's bringing the sword down, just like, oh, it would be as he's just coming down to about to stab her.
Oh my god!
So-
As he's falling, just kind of
That would-
swaying with the beat.
Yeah.
That would just be a terrible thing to fucking animate.
That was,
You know
that
you're
was
going
really
to do
good.
it. You know you're
That was
going to
really
do
Yeah.
it.
Someone,
Maybe.
the audio's
Did
out
you
there
get the
now.
message?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You gotta clip
Now
that.
then,
Somebody remix this. Get it going.
That was
Freaking
beautiful.
strife in chat to guide my way straight to the sky.
Your spine.
It's great.
Oh, that's good.
now we gotta give Sekiro a couple of curveballs in the mini game. Come on.
Karaoke night wins.
I sent one.
Right.
Oh, you
to,
sent me one. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There it goes.
Oh shit! Not even I know this.
There we go.
Good,
Vinny
good.
with the curveball. There you go.
Yes.
Have you ever had the feeling something is calling you? Or that you had to visit a place? Or that you had to visit some place?
That sounds very Aerith-y.
Yes,
Kinda
that's
does.
Aaron all day.
I think it's
You know,
I
I
felt like it
think
was Aerith right before the
Hojo was a
Force,
good guess.
man.
I think Hojo is a good guess.
I almost
Yeah,
want to
let's see.
say Xehanort from Birth by Sleep.
Nice.
Hmm.
Is it
Straight.
like that?
It's
Is
obviously
that kind of
Big
curveball?
Bro.
It's obviously
No,
Big Bro.
Big bro.
It's Big Bro, dude.
Hojo
Fist of
Jojo.
Steel cut to the
Hojo
bone.
Jojo.
It's
Actually,
from 7. I was thinking about pulling a line from a different Final Fantasy,
okay.
but I kept it at 7.
Oh, I thought you were
Pull
gonna
a
do that.
line.
That would have been fun.
Okay, I could pull a line
Well,
from
then you
another
were
Final
expecting it.
Fantasy.
Get one
But
from Kingdom Hearts.
Since
that
you
Cloud
want a
says.
challenge,
No, but not me. Someone
was
else.
it Hojo?
I kind of want to hear Sid. Want to hear Sid or Vincent do a Marlene line?
Oh,
Dummy.
Vincent or Mar- let's just swap everything around.
Yeah.
Let's hear Sid do a Marlene line. Is that what you're saying? Or do you
Dad,
want to do a, do you want to
Dad,
do
the
a Kate
scary
Smith-
guy with the spiky hairs creeping me out.
Add the cursing to it.
All right, I actually do have. I was searching for one. I found one. This one's for Sid.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun.
What's that line from? Who says that line?
That is Hojo when he's at Costa del Sol.
Okay.
talking to Cloud.
Wow.
Okay.
I got the beach scene right.
I feel like this one's gonna be a good one. From
Do you mind if I ad lib a little?
Sure.
Now I'll go back to what was actually sent, but all right.
I see contemplates.
I am.
He's getting
I want to make it nice and juicy. You keep the
Where to put the emphasis?
Yeah.
The emphasis.
The emphasis on the right syllable.
The emphasis. Yes.
The emphasis
yes.
is coming.
Oh
my god. The
loading circle in
emphasis.
Yeah.
I know. Hey, last time we had this happen, while you're getting in character, last time we had this happen, we were talking to Mallory Lowe. She did the voice for Madam M. And we had her do, which would be this would be a really fun show with you guys, a fun game to play. We did Mad Libs, right? So where we took one of her lines and she didn't know it, and we had her replace words within her dialogue, and then I sent it to her and I said, now you have to read that as Madam M. And then like she stood there just like you're doing now. She just kind of stayed there and paused, and we're like, the anticipation is killing us right now. And then she nailed it. Like it was, and then there were weird things like Dwayne Johnson in her like she was just getting it.
I definitely want to see Mikey do some of the stuff with Kate Sith. That'd be
that would be nice.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, so
he
who am I
actually
sending this
Scottishes up
curveball to?
everything.
All right, here we go. All right, check this out, you little fucking sack of assholes. If you want to get women, there is such a thing as the right way, you dumb motherfucker.
That is definitely Don Corneo. Definitely.
That's Yuffie.
That was
funny.
great. Who is that?
Funny.
I do actually know that one.
Yeah, I do actually know this too. I actually know who this is.
All right, what we got for chat? Let's see what chat said. Marlene for sure.
Marlene.
It's interesting that
Tifa leaves the room and like Marlene's
is.
like, okay, listen up.
I do know who this is, but I've never actually seen it in game before.
Honestly,
well, I cannot confirm.
I
that
think
because
my
I just pulled it from
I
fandom.com.
think my guess is likely different than a lot of others. My guess is actually Yuffie.
Aw.
Okay.
You guys have not been watching the demo reel.
Yeah,
that
that's
long.
why I know it too.
You guys have not been watching
Demo
the
reel.
demo.
It's been a long time since I watched it.
This is, it's
in there. It's in there.
That's kind of what I meant. Like,
is what it seems to be.
I heard the line, but just don't know where it is because it was in the demo. I've never seen it in game.
Let's see. All right. Let's see. Vinny, do you mind doing me a favor with Rim Avel? Could you reply to Rim Avel with the link to the Madam M show?
Sure.
Yeah.
So who said that line?
The YouTube link?
Do you want the answer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's hear it, Christian.
It's it.
That was
Oh, sorry. Ketchi.
Ketchi.
Where in the game is that?
Wutai.
No one plays as Kate Sith. That's why.
It's in Wutai.
Wutai was
that makes
fun.
sense.
Wutai was fun to record.
Oh yeah.
Wutai was fun. I had some fun with Wutai.
Nice.
Yeah. Wutai. Oh.
I forced everyone to pronounce it Ketchi, by the way.
Man, I love
pancake already.
Hey, maybe he'll make it there.
You can visit it in the live stream.
Yeah. Or he'll make it there in remake part 2. It's fine. They're all fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. The possibilities, right?
I mean, we never saw a body, you know.
That's the quote that we've been saying, possibilities. Which actually I really enjoyed Remake. So just to get that out there, I enjoyed Remake. But it wasn't everything that I thought it was going to be. And when anybody says, "Oh, you just wanted Echo S," you know what I'm saying? Now they can say that. You literally could say that if you wanted to. That would be an argument. When somebody says like you want a 1-to-1 remake. But now I'm like, dude, Chapter 1.
Crisis, what?
The opening bombing mission of Final Fantasy VII.
See,
remake.
when I saw the tagline for Ever Crisis and it was like another possibility for a remake, we were sat there like, oh, why didn't we do that? Like that's perfect for our tagline.
So, who's getting this curveball? Who wants the curveball? Who wants to tackle it?
I'll do it.
Oh, this is gonna be great in your voice.
This is gonna be great in your voice.
All right, so what do we do?
It's the
you're gonna give
Sephiroth trying to deliver it.
You're gonna give him Mog.
Here we go.
Mog.
We gotta suffer because of what some goofballs did way back when. Of course, we must always repent for our sins. It's just that it's hard to keep at it sometimes, you know.
I know it.
I know exactly who that is.
Dude.
Oh my
God.
Oh, I think chat's caught on.
Brilliant.
Brother.
Chat's caught on,
now,
brother.
now, what would happen if the Genova's witnesses ended up running into the followers of Yevon?
They would have a Genova convention.
Christina.
Okay. Okay.
That message I sent you out of context would have been really bad.
Yeah,
just randomly sent you
I
this
saw
message.
the notification come up. Okay. Okay.
Here's a random like, let's give Riku a kick in the butt and go on.
All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Quit slapping me, you old wench!
Beautiful.
That was
I hope
great.
no one here heard that.
Somebody comes running into your room like,
Are you okay?
So do we have to guess?
I'm actually not sure which side that comes from. Like, I know the scene, but I don't know which one.
Also,
I say
fun
it's
time
Mookie.
recording. Also, fun time.
It's actually
Legend
Mookie, isn't
Reborn
it?
said Emerald
that's
Weapons.
Tifa.
That's
I'm telling
Emerald
you, that's
Weapons
Tifa.
line.
That's Emerald Weapons.
Yeah.
Mookie is
It was
the
right
shit.
after Scarlet slapped
Can't
her.
no one tell me different.
That's Tifa right there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Tifa.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's Tifa.
It's Tifa.
It was indeed Tifa right after Scarlet slapped her.
Aw.
Which is something from Remake or in like the future installment that we gotta have, right? We gotta have
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
See what I was
Yeah.
saying
Better.
though, to make that scene okay, because I didn't know it, but apparently it's like they were like, nah, man, that wouldn't fly nowadays. And I'm like, okay, well, how about Scarlet slap her and then Tifa just turn around, just boom, just knock her out,
Just knock her flying.
Oh,
Knock
please.
her off the side of the
I
camera.
would love that.
Here's the
Also,
thing. Team 4-Star did that, and I was in stitches.
Oh, they
'cause
did.
That's actually how it would have gone, because Scarlet just slaps like, okay, super badass.
That's
female
cute.
martial artist right
That's
there.
Just right. Just get out of here.
see, now one thing, another thing about Echo S, and Suna probably knows exactly where I'm going with this. What I'm saying.
Oh.
Another thing about Echo S that's going to be fun to me for fans of Remake is that when you go through Wall Market,
We getting that rated M? Are we putting that hard rated M on there?
no, but you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that steel
Peggy 18.
chair.
You're gonna get the what?
The steel chair.
You're gonna
Cherith.
Yeah.
Cherith
Okay, I got it.
Oh, wow.
For
Cherith.
a second, I was like, wait a second, what's going on? You guys going hardcore Wall Market or
If my information is correct, then
It can be
Aw.
done. It can be
We are
done.
getting Cherith. Oh, geez.
getting
yes,
Cherith.
it will be an equipable weapon in game that you can use.
She just like spins the chair around.
The smile on her face when she did it, she's like,
He's so proud of herself. I did it.
Look what I did.
I'll make
win the
Cherith
belt.
I'll make her speak Spanish, like luchador style.
Lucha Libre. Yeah.
I'm down.
That was actually great because I did, and I don't know why I didn't remember that, but like Team 4-Star, we had them on the show actually.
I just put that out in
not-
chat. I'm
not too
actually
long ago.
linking the video
Oh,
right
sweet. Yeah, well, we had Team 4-Star. That was a lot of fun too. God, that's why I was like, I love talking to voice actors.
That'd be an interesting joint. That'd be an
I would-
interesting joint session too.
Oh my god,
I would
yeah.
love to hang out with Team 4-Star. Oh my god.
I think
I
we're gonna
watch
make-
DBZ.
We could probably make that happen.
I think we're gonna make that happen
Yeah,
right
let's
now.
do it.
I've been watching DBZ abridged on
We're
the
gonna do a
regular.
face off. We're gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna do with Team 4-Star. We played Password, which was but we played with and like their team versus our team, and it was like we give them one word from Final Fantasy, but I sent it to them in a private message, and then they have to give their teammate one word to like as a clue. So they would have to like, so if it was Mako, you would say live stream or something like that, right? And then if they so you say live stream, and then if the person goes spirit or something like that, and then that's wrong, so the next team gets it and they can use that clue and then use it for theirs. So they get one word.
Interesting.
So
Wow.
that would be kind of fun to do a little
You may not want to have me. I've had a horrible track record with Team 4-Star. Not bad blood or anything, but all the like. So way back in the day, I did a podcast with Moscow. It was just like a one-shot podcast where we invited him on. Whole thing got corrupted. Couldn't use it. It just sort of fell apart. And another one, and then another one was one of my earliest voice acting projects was actually going to be opposite Lanny Pator.
Okay.
In a Yu Yu Hakusho project where
I was going to be voicing the big demon monster thing.
But like right around that time, his computer exploded, so he couldn't be involved in the project, and then the project fell apart. I was just like, my luck with working with them is awful.
No, the charm though. Third time's the charm. So
third time's the charm. Yeah,
make it work.
Do the face off, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's right. Let's get you back on the show."
Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
That was a long
Final
time
Fan
ago.
TV is willing to take that risk, right, guys?
Yeah, I'm willing to take that.
Thank you.
But you know,
like I told Vinny,
Their
the
Twitch
FFTV
like
way is technical difficulty. So it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
where we
your
go.
Twitch channel gets banned. It's just
Yeah.
like that's really unfortunate, guys.
I just remembered we actually did a Helsinger Bridge, like an offshoot of
my
Helsinger Bridge
God.
with Cliff, with Einsafau, one of their guys, and actually, oh god, this one of my favorite things, which I wish I could do again. I did a Helsing Ultimate Bridge with I was Luke, and Kaiser Neko was Luke's brother, but they always made him swear a lot. But the one thing which I loved most of all was when they asked me to play Alexander Anderson, and Cliff said, "Okay, you're making Alexander Duke Nukem if he was a hardcore Catholic."
Oh Jesus!
Ooh.
What?
I went,
Fun.
one of my favorite things to say, like there's a few of them, time to hit the town, amen, and things like that. Amen to the king, baby. So,
Amen to
oh, it's so good. It's time
Eat
to
of me. This isn't my body.
That's awesome. I want to make this happen. Actually, I want to make the I want to make the Team 4-Star.
That'd be a fun time.
That'd be great.
I want to see
Stars
these
Tsunamods.
guys sat in the same call as the remake actors too. It'd just be ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
I would
We could
love that.
That would be
We
amazing.
could probably try and
We
do
need
that
to-
too.
We need to do
And
like
while you're at it, the original actors as well. Let's make it the most ambitious podcast.
the most ambitious crossover ever.
we've got to make
crossover
a
ever.
catchy clip that we can just like tell everybody in here right now to just tweet at them and be like, challenge accepted. Let's go.
Right?
Everybody in
Like
chat
you
right
guys,
Well, I mean,
you guys
I gotta,
in your character voices, just challenge them. They're like, you won't. You won't.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it.
My wedge is better than
Do
your
it,
wedge.
you won't.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
You ain't even got one of me yet. I'm all you got. Let's go.
This is gonna
You
be
want
great. I'm
you want to see it? I win. I guarantee you ain't gonna find no one else about as hype about that shit as me. I'm gonna make your whole project take off like Shinner 26 didn't.
Oh my god!
No.
Love it. Love it.
I'm gonna clip that.
Love it.
There you go.
I love the burns when you like include
Come
Final
here.
Fantasy VII references. Like,
Come
like, dude, get an echo
References.
screen. You gone silent. Like, it's like, was great. That was from Christian earlier.
Hold on. I have a friend here who wants to say something.
Challenge
Yeah.
Oh
No
my
way.
God. Is it Marlene?
Yes.
Hi.
Go say it. Say the line. Say the line.
Say dummy.
Dummy.
Yes. We got
There it
it
is.
live. Yes.
Yes. That's awesome.
Oh my God.
Oh
That
my
was
God.
it.
He's
There's
so
a-
cute.
I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for it now. I'm waiting for it now to them to go over my channel and just start spamming.
You just dummy.
Sorry, I didn't actually know what you guys are doing, but I can't think of something more important than
that's
that.
fine.
No,
No,
that
was beautiful.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to
we
make a
needed.
catchy clip where you guys challenge the remake actors, then we'll snip it down to 15 seconds so it gets in the algorithm and then throw it everywhere.
Yeah, that would
You
be
know what'd
amazing.
be,
It'd be so
you know what'd be
fun.
great? You know what'd be great? If we got the 3 or probably 4 Sephiroths, if you get Mike Varker involved,
Oh my
and
God.
all of them say,
Can we get
"I am
Lance
the
Bass?
chosen one."
Yeah, yeah. Can you get Lance Bass?
I'm the chosen one.
Oh, I am the chosen one. Just all arguing with each other.
You guys, you know, Lance Bass was actually the chosen one.
I love it. Like, isn't it on his like official Twitter handle like the first Sephiroth or something like that?
That would be
was.
hilarious.
I would
It
love
was. I don't know if it's still the case, but
the original Sephiroth.
I mean,
Milk it, man. Absolutely.
I would be starstruck. I actually love Lance Bass.
Yeah. Oh my
Like,
God.
I actually love him.
Let's be real here. That would be awesome. Oh my God.
I actually love Lance Bass.
Let's
No,
do
if
it.
we can get like the Sephiroth
I would
podcast, the
love that
Cloud
too.
podcast, the Tifa podcast, absolutely.
I mean, we got the numbers to get attention right now.
We got it.
I would cry again.
Oh my God. We actually spoke with.
Don't tempt me. I will cry.
Yeah.
I will cry.
Honestly, there was one time where I was actually trying to follow up on what it would take to submit an audition to Square Enix.
Oh, you
for
spoke to
Smash.
Oh,
John,
yeah.
didn't you?
And I was kind of reaching out wherever I could, and one of the people that I contacted was on Twitter. I contacted John Eric Bentley. and
Nice.
He actually responded to me.
He's
and we
so
had
cool.
He's so
He
nice.
is a first class person,
Mhm.
like straight up.
Yep. So he actually responded to you. That's really cool, man.
He's awesome.
Yeah, we actually had the privilege of speaking with John Bentley as well as Vic Chow, who plays Sung.
Oh, Big shout.
That was it's been a ride, man. We've had a lot of really good voice actors and actresses on that I never thought we would have on Final Fantasy TV. And we were just starting out when we asked John to be on the show. That was so cool, like him being on the show. You talk about technical difficulties, Luke. When you were like, oh yeah, I got my chance with Team 4-Star. And then so we had John Bentley on, and like everything went great, but then afterwards when I listened back to it, his voice comes in really low. And I was like,
okay.
so like he can be talking like, yeah, man, doing his talking, just talk, and then I go, ha ha ha, just like out of nowhere, just me, like just blasting loud. It's just like, oh no.
You just T-dissed all over everybody.
Weep for you.
Yeah.
I know
Well,
that pain.
this has been look, people were using my Titus my
Oh,
Titus.
dude, everybody's been using your T-Diss.
Everybody's subbed now.
Yeah, everybody's subbed. So we have
Nice.
like 45 new subs today.
That's
Ooh.
insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
You guys are
Can
amazing.
we hit 50?
Hell yeah.
Can we hit 50? Look at all those
There it is.
T-Disses all over the place.
Absolutely insane.
Do you have any idea what
Titus
you're doing?
delete us. Look at this.
That's such a
Oh,
nocturnal thing to say too.
I actually made that. Like
God.
There we go.
Dude,
I got
yeah,
subbed. I
made
can
that.
throw some in there. There we go.
Oh,
wait, how do you
my
know?
God.
How do you know if
Jesus.
you're subbed? How do
Oh,
you know?
It'll have a star. We need to make a sub badge now, but that
Ask
star
him thou
that's
shalt
next to your
receive.
name.
Oh my God.
Are you guys
Um,
seeing this right now?
Let it rain.
Are you guys seeing this right now?
But are we about
These
to hit
are all
another
my
hype train?
regulars. They don't treat me like this.
Yeah.
There's the hype.
We had
train.
a,
Here we go.
Get
We
him,
had
Chad.
a level
Go
5
and get 'em.
hype train.
We have a
earlier.
hype train.
We had a level 5 hype train. I
amazing.
think we're level 1
5
now.
hype train was completed at about 150%.
Yeah.
What
Oh
ideas have we got
gosh.
for sub badges here now then?
Dude, Oh my god! Like, what I'm supposed to say something here? Like,
Just make a stylized F. Just
thank
an
you
F.
so much. Yeah,
we need a
Oh
cool
my
badge.
gosh.
Actually, the Titus laughing should be on the badge.
Jokes on us, we sub.
That would be amazing.
Thank you so much. Once again, though, I
With a little
really,
cloud.
really want to say, please go over and support the people on the show right now. They're the reason why. Like, this is we have them to thank. The Tsunamods, we have them to thank. You can check out Tsunamods on Patreon. That's how you can support them. Just go straight to Patreon, check them out. I think it's patreon.com/Tsunamods.
It is. There's not a lot to actually gain from Patreon at this point in time. It just exists to exist because people ask me to do it. But most of the time I say to people, like, when I stream on Twitch, I stream me creating these mods live. Sometimes I'll have these guys on to do live recording sessions with them. I've been 3D models, whatever. Like, just pop by over there and just say hello and keep me company. It's all like...
So does everybody have, like, everybody here right now, do you guys have access to the chat right now?
Yep.
Could you type it? Just type in your Twitter handle, and then that way people can go follow you or wherever you want them to follow you at. Like,
okay.
So that way, and state your name, so that way they know who it is. And then if you guys, that would be a big thing for me. God, look, we got a hype train incoming. What is that? What is this? What does this mean?
There
like,
we go.
we haven't experienced this before.
The missus is so...
You'll have a limited time to earn. Okay, level 3.
So we're at a level 3 hype train, 52%. The more levels you go through, Daniel, the different emojis you can use.
And they get badges too. Whoever started the hype train gets like a conductor's badge, and whoever gave the most gets like some other type of badge.
That's insane.
Yeah. And so the
You
hype
guys are
train
awesome.
goes up with subs and bits and cheers and all that stuff. So when people do that, the hype train goes up, and then
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
That was an excellent.
This was so much fun.
This has been a blast.
This is the best night ever.
Oh man,
this has been pretty great. Now I will say,
thank you so much for being on.
If anyone wants to come and see some voice lines being recorded for the major characters, I know Farron still does some kind of stuff. I, due to some personal issues over the last couple of months, I'm a little bit behind. So I've got some catching up to do now that I finally kind of got my mic issues worked out. And
hello,
that
everyone.
Stuff. Well, hi.
Party time.
Party.
Over on my Twitch,
Got
if
Hydra follows.
you guys can catch me doing some Sid lines live, and come out and have some
Even
fun,
have them
hang out.
ad lib some. I saw because I was actually watching one of them, and somebody in chat had them ad lib something, and it's still gonna be in my mind no matter what you say. Like, I'm always gonna think of 1 wing, 2 wing, chicken wing. I don't care how many wings you got.
It was great. Yeah, for any of you in chat that might not have caught this earlier, this was pretty good. One night on my channel, I was recording some Sid lines, and one of my viewers in chat was like, hey, what would Sephiroth say off the top of your head if he was, fighting Safer Sephiroth? What would he say? So I'm like, all right, off the top of my head, cool. Well, how many forms you gonna take? I don't care if you got 1 wing, 2 wing, 4 wings, chicken wings. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Christina, I see you trying not to laugh, and it's hilarious.
Guys, any of you can pop over to my channel and while I'm doing that shit and have some fun with me. It helps keep me motivated, fresh, and all that shit.
Absolutely. Did you put that in the chat so people know where to go?
He's in the chat actually.
Okay.
Rockfist Gaming. Right.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Rockfist Gaming.
I'm gonna follow
Official
you right
Crane.
now.
Definitely check out that. That's Christian, right?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely check it. That's where I found a lot of your
You'll be
demo
doing Sid
reels and
lines
stuff.
live too.
Really cool.
Right,
Really cool.
Oh yeah. Still thinking films. We
got
do.
that follow. I've got the notification music blasting in my ears.
So when we had Tsunamods come on, like, my main goal is with FFTV in general. My main goal is to spotlight community members of Final Fantasy, and to, I don't know, if Final Fan TV can be some sort of platform or stage for people to get, more eyes on, then that's it's job done. Job well done. So, and we also would like to come on and just have a lot of fun. You know what I mean? Like, this is, like we said, like at the end of this, we did a little fun little game. So it's not like you're, the typical interview style stuff. So, yeah. And what I would hope for this is that Tsunamods gets a lot of this love as well. Bring it on over to Tsunamods, bring it on over to the amazing voice talent right here as well. So
absolutely.
Thanks, guys. And I think we can wrap up this. I don't know, man. I mean, wait a second. We can't wrap it. We got 2 minutes on the hype train. We can.
You know what you can do, right? To end the hype train, play the trailer again.
You would okay? Hype train will play the trailer again. Hype train will play the trailer again. Should we do it like that? Like, should we do? Yep. I'll play the trailer again if we hit the hype train.
We'll do it that way. If you guys can hit the hype train, then we'll let you watch a trailer again, because it's not on YouTube, and it's not going to be for a little while.
87% exclusive.
13% level 5
hype train.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, ride that train. Right? I don't know.
Also,
13.
if you are getting ready to end soon, and you're possibly looking for someone to raid, there is someone on right now. Suna, you and Christian, I know you guys both know.
All right, we hit it.
We hit the hype train, baby.
Nice. Hello, Sin coming in.
There we go. Thank you.
That's
Hell yeah.
awesome. You guys
earned one trailer.
You guys hit it. So wait, real quick. Do you want to finish what you were saying, man?
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, Soldier First Class has been creating a lot of really good Final Fantasy content.
Yes. Had him on the show too.
Yeah, he was on the show.
Friend of the show. Cool.
So has
really cool guy.
Prince.
He's live right now with some FF14, I believe.
Oh, of course.
The Mazus and stuff like that. Yeah. Soldier, go over to Soldiers after this stream is over, and say Final Fan TV sent you, and remind him that we still think about him. We still, we still think about his voice. And stuff, so. All right, I'm gonna play the trailer for you guys because you guys hit the hype train. Thank you so much. Level
5.
Wait, what?
107% at level 5.
Wow.
Two level 5 hype trains in one stream.
Level 5 is the highest, and it's just gonna 107% just means that everybody in here is more awesome than 100%.
It means it's hype.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, we're 7% over the total max of just level 5. Like, that's without level 4, 3, 2, 1. Like,
now you owe us up.
Did I make a level 5 emoji? Oh, did I make I don't even know if I made a level 5 emoji. It was like,
it's a Twitch thing. They deal with
a Twitch thing.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, you just make a phantom train emoji for the hype train.
Phantom train.
Level 5,
or
Sabin. There ain't no getting off of this train we on.
The phantom hype train.
That's well done. We'll take 3 years.
Suplex the hype train.
Yeah, we'll get saved suplex in it. Yeah. Oh man, that's amazing. You guys are awesome, but you don't want to sit here and watch me gush about this. I'm going to play the trailer and then we'll be back. I can't let this go. I can't let this go when you guys are being this awesome. So we'll be back.
Peggy 16.
Oh, shit.
Face it, Cloud. You're nothing but an empty puppet.
I ruined the trailer. So,
What'd you do?
I accidentally stopped it.
Look at all those
nice.
trees down there. Look at all those little choo-choos down there.
Hi.
Look at that.
Okay.
That's-
4,100.
Apparently, there is a getting off the train.
Look at all,
We're gonna-
look at all of them.
Lol.
Look at those ha-ha-has.
I'll play the trailer again if you guys. we gotta get
Just get back to where it was.
Yeah, I don't know if I
Yeah.
can
Look at
freaking
that.
Streamlabs, but yeah, I'll play it again. I'll play it again. All right, here we go.
Peggy
It's worth
16.
it. So nice to see you twice.
Face it, Cloud. You're nothing but an empty puppet. Cloud Strife, eh? I'm
Not interested. Once this job's over, I'm out of here.
Welcome back, Cloud. Looks like the mission went well. You didn't argue with Barrett, did you?
Tell me, boy, does this soldier have a name?
Ex-soldier. Cloud Strife.
You'll have to forgive me. I can't be expected to remember every soldier's name. Unless you were another Sephiroth.
Sephiroth?
Sorry, losers. You're too late. Once I push this button, that's all, folks. Mission accomplished.
We have to disarm it! Cloud! Barrett! We have to do something!
Not while I'm working! You ain't got shit on Reno and the Turks.
Marlene! Marlene! Marlene!
I'll be here.
Why?
I'll be waiting here.
For what?
I'll be waiting for you. If you come here, you'll find me.
I promise.
All right, there we go. There we go. We got to it, man. Let's go. Look at everybody's hype again. This is
you got 2.5 trailers. There you go.
I don't know if like anybody joined in after the fact of that trailer. But we showed it earlier, and that is the Echo S8, right?
S8.
Where they're going to be doing Final Fantasy VIII Suna, and Christian leading the charge on that one. That's awesome. So what we're gonna do, guys, since we love you so much, Chad, like, I mean, you guys are just showing us so much love, that we can't just let you go. So if you want to ask any questions, though, like for real though, if you want to ask any questions, now's the chance to do it. I mean, we got Tsunamods is here to answer. So the talented voice actors are here to answer some questions. Do you have mine from earlier? Nocturnal. I feel like I remember Nocturnal had a question.
I have a file.
Can you retype it, please? Is that the one about the soundtrack? Because I know there was one about soundtrack. You guys.
Oh, it's different. Okay.
You remember that one? Where's
Nocturnal. How would you feel about me sending them your file so everybody can hear how Dine sounds? Because you haven't been in a character demo yet.
Oh, all right. So while we wait, Vegna Chaos says, will we be able to download the redone soundtrack once Echo S is done? Did I mess up what I did? What's going on?
I believe that the remastered music mods, those are currently available through
Want to go for it? All right.
Seventh Heaven. So you should be able to go and just look those up right now if you've got the mod manager, and boom, spice up your game a little bit.
Dude, Wallcrawler is hype AFRN. You know what I'm saying?
Good reason.
Yeah, that trailer was so hype. That was Christian, right? That you put that together, right? Yeah, did that one?
Yes. Which one? The trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yes, I did.
Yep. So,
and the
show some love
mixing, the mixing and mastering that Christian did with Last Order was top freaking notch.
Nice.
Last Order,
switching
and
out the
Advent
music,
Children complete. Yeah.
Christina, did you do the voice for Tifa on that one? The Last
yeah,
Order?
that was actually my first experience with Still Thinking Films. That's like I had watched. That's how I found Christian. I think I found one of his Final Fantasy dubs, and then we got to talking, and he's like, "We're doing this dub of Advent Children. Would you like to be Tifa?" And I actually said no at first because I thought I wouldn't have the time to balance it out. But then the next day, he's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "No, I want to do it."
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Yeah. So it worked out.
Good thing he asked, "Are you sure?"
I was like, no, I was all Casanova style about it. I'm just like, oh, she said no. I'm just like, wait till tomorrow. I'll ask again. She'll say
it did not take much convincing because it's Tifa.
Right. It's like, you said no, but are you sure?
I was not sure.
This is a good one. I like to hear this one too. For all, what was your first Final Fantasy experience? That's a good question here for Final Fantasy TV. Yeah, let's hear it. Luke.
I can go first. So my first experience was kind of funny. It was on the trailer for Final Fantasy VIII, and my brother and I both saw it. We had like this preview VHS tape that had like upcoming games on it, and we were both terrified by the fake Latin music. By the fake Latin chanting, and we were just like, that's scary. We don't like, because most of my gaming at that point was like Super Mario 64, Spyro the Dragon, so it was all very like cute cartoonish like critters and things like that. It was just like, what's the scare? I don't know what that means. It's scary. So technically that's my very first experience, but actually playing Final Fantasy was after I was like reintroduced to it through Kingdom Hearts. Like I would be like, who are these characters? And I would check out the journal entries, and they're like, oh, they're from Final Fantasy X or 10 or 7 or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, those games. And then I went back to like Hollywood Video or Blockbuster, rented Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 because they were both out by then. I'm like, Oh, I like these systems. I like this whole RPG thing. Oh, I'm sold. And then I've gone back and played older ones and newer ones, and
really cool.
Voiced older ones and newer ones.
That's really cool. Like that Kingdom Hearts is what brought you back into Final Fantasy. I love hearing stories like this, man, because just like last night we were playing Final Fantasy VII. We were doing our Final Fantasy I Materia Lockdown Challenge. Somebody just stopped in and was like, "Hey, is this your first time playing?" And we're like, "Dude, no." But I was like, "What's up?" He's like, "Do you mind if I tell you my story?" And I was like, "I'll listen to your story." And but he basically just said, like, this was I just got finished playing Final Fantasy VII, my first story-based game that I've played since 2000 or something like that. And I was like, okay, this is your first Final Fantasy? And he's like, yeah, this is my first Final Fantasy. And like just kind of going on and saying how much he loved Final Fantasy VII. And I'm like, I was so nervous that people would like go back to the old primitive not primitive, it's still around. Fantasian's out now doing it too, turn-based stuff. But like kind of going back to that gameplay style, and I was like so afraid people are gonna be like, yeah, no, Final Fantasy VII, and I don't want to hear those words, you know what I mean? Because I don't like those words.
Yeah, personally, I
love Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. No, personally, I love turn-based RPG mechanics. So like Final Fantasy X, Mega Man X Command Mission, I'm a big fan of that game. The Digimon Cyber Sleuth games, like when it's kind of that classic like kind of like speed-based turn-based RPG mechanics that just essentially anything of the modified combat system from 10 I love. I think
10 did it best. The conditional where you can see who goes next, and like the turn that you choose something is the turn that the action gets executed. It's like a really drawn out game of chess where like your opponent's gonna go, but you have to like try and subvert them somehow.
Antho Gator
10 did it best.
Antho Gator says, what was your favorite voice line recorded so far, and why was it Peeing Man?
Oh god. Okay, there isn't much context for everybody else. This is something that happened on my stream, but
I was like, you're gonna have to explain.
But yeah, that guy that they're talking about, the peeing guy, there's an NPC in Shinra Tower that just goes to the bathroom and then goes back to his office. And if you talk to him while he's peeing, it's loads of ellipsis and then so instead of just having loads of silence and then that relief, we had him hum different songs from the game. So take Chocobo, for example. He was like, it's just like merged. So good.
All right, so I'm gonna go back to Nocturnal real quick, just because
Daniel, I have it up right now.
Oh, you have it too.
You have
okay,
his original
cool.
statement. Okay.
Yes, because I told them I would answer that question. So
really quick, I think I need to get ready to bow out. I'm starting to get a little bit tired, and I've got Easter buffet at work tomorrow. I'm gonna get my ass kicked.
Yeah,
you got this.
So I think I need to get ready to unwind and relax and prepare.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Dustin.
Thank you guys.
Just an absolute blast, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being Sid.
You guys feel free to hit me up whenever about whatever.
Yes, yeah. I'm liking this idea about still thinking. So I'm liking it. So.
Oh yeah, we'll have to actually talk to the chat about that.
Yeah. Oh wait.
that was all behind the trailer.
That was behind the trailer. But yes, absolutely.
Get you some goddamn sleep, Roomaville.
Nice.
Hey, thank you. I want to say a big thank you to chat as well. You guys in chat have been awesome. I've been trying to follow along throughout this whole thing. So you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for the follows on my Twitch channel. And hopefully
VA, right? Rockfist VA.
Rockfist Gaming for Twitch.
Rockfist Gaming with
Rockfist VO for Twitter.
Okay, awesome.
But yeah, I'm sure I'll be seeing more of you guys soon, and
yeah. Thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Things, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Take it easy, man.
Take care, you guys.
Catch you later, dude. Thanks for coming.
Have a good night.
See ya. All right, so we had this Nocturnal question. Vinny, go ahead.
Oh, I deleted it because you said you had it. Hold on, I need to find it again.
Oh,
here we go.
Lock Turtle's like, am I gonna get
Okay.
my question asked or?
Okay. So Nocturnal says, you have a good bit of manpower behind the Tsunamods team. I know mod production and game development are two different things, but have you ever considered using those resources to create an original RPG game as like a love letter to Final Fantasy?
I would totally do that kind of thing, but when I'm finished with this, you know.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9. I want them done. And we'll see after that.
We're announcing
That's
9?
a good joke.
Echo S9 announced right now.
Echo S10.
We don't actually know if 9 is possible yet. Different game. So.
No, what's funny was that actually in the lineup, we actually had that after FF7 we were going to do FF9. But like what Suna said, we just didn't know if we could do it. But FF8 uses pretty much the same tools as FF7, so we're just like, eh. And I love FF8.
9.
Yeah, so since I love FF8, I'm just like, oh yeah, that might be a good idea.
Christian, I know you know you're gonna take care, but I did hear of you doing your Squall voice on your YouTube. So that was pretty cool. So I know that you have
now everyone knows who Squall is.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you should know who Squall is because you should go check out that YouTube channel. Still thinking. All right, so
I have a little.
What's up?
Oh no, I put this as a clue, but whatever.
Oh, Easter egg.
And I had my
it's
Guardian
like
Forces shirt.
Like Phil Spencer's office, man. There's the Easter egg
Also,
back there.
you'll notice that the video we sent you was labeled Echo S7.
Yeah, it was called Echo S7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Echo
on
S7.
purpose,
Well,
yeah.
you know, I didn't know. I didn't catch it.
See, yeah.
Yeah, it's Echo S7.
It's got layers.
Yeah. 1 through 6 were a complete failure.
That's just the
But all right, so do we have anything else in chat before we we're gonna have everyone just raid Soldier First Class. So we're gonna all like everybody in chat is going to just blow it up with Titus emojis, okay? Just ha all over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ha all over it.
We're raiding Soldier.
All ha all over his face.
My dad's actually in chat and had a question there too.
Oh, awesome.
He said for, I don't know if it was like for us or for chat, but either way, but he says for all of us older folk, how did you all get into FF?
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, go ahead, guys.
Well, I told my story.
And he knows my story.
Yeah.
He was there.
Well, ladies first. Christina?
My a friend of mine at the time recommended, she's like, you have to try this series. I think you'll really like it. And at the time, it was Final Fantasy X-2. So that was actually my very first game that I played. And then I went back and played 10, and it was
what's going on?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I'm just like three kick-ass girls. Like, I love this, sure, and their outfits are cool. This is great. And
there's
then,
like a dead boyfriend or something.
I don't know who he is. He's whatever. And yeah,
Going backwards kind of has the mystery of where did Pain go?
Yeah,
From 10-2 to
Yeah.
10. Where did Pain go? And her giant sword chicken thing.
Well, as Vincent can tell you, something about pain. I can't remember what the line was.
Pain and suffering and
never goes away or something.
dark
like that.
rooms and
And caskets and just
brooding.
Yeah, no, so I enjoyed 10-2. 10 actually, it's just good fun to me. It's just fun.
Yeah.
And then
the
I went
combat
back
system.
and went 7, 8, 9, and all the way up.
Okay, all right, that's awesome. So went back and said 7 is where we got to start.
So
you played 10 too, and then you were like, I'll wait for 10, and I'm just gonna go back to
10-2, 10, and then
okay.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all of it. Yeah.
So you never played 6?
I've never played 6, and I really want to.
So
I have
6
to.
6 is available on the phone. I've been playing 6 on my phone, and you have to play 6.
I know I do. I will.
You have to play 6.
I will.
The 27th anniversary of 6. It is it's amazing. It's just so good.
It's a never-ending war.
Yeah.
There's a never-ending war between Final Fantasy 6 and 7 as to which is the best. And you know what the most annoying thing is? Neither side's wrong.
Neither side is wrong. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Or
all
right,
Final
because 10
Fantasies
is
are
the
great.
best.
You got that right.
Hey!
Am I the only person who likes 12? I'm the only person who likes 12.
You're the only person that likes 12.
You're the only person here that likes
Do you
12.
like like 12 but hate Vaughn? Because then you're with everybody else.
I mean, when
was
the
FF
characters,
Star Wars, thank you.
Yeah.
I made Star
It's
Wars
true.
references.
It's true.
And I would, you know, I mean,
I
always
mean,
make Star Wars.
when a character is so enhanced by a change in outfit, for when Vaughn gets his vest and Revenant wings, or like his like pirate jacket, and his character becomes like 5 times better, then I'm sold. But the weird like cardboard box abs and the very square,
Everybody always mentions
12.
his abs.
Yeah, no, the abs are weird. The abs are
Never
weird.
did it for me, man. Never.
No,
did it. Like,
what's funny is
come on.
that Vaughn is actually like insanely popular in Japan. Like insanely popular. I think in top 10, he's in the top 10 of most.
That's insane to me. Like,
Yeah, that's insane to me.
Yeah,
He's like so just typical. Like he's just like probably the most relatable Final Fantasy character because he's just kind of like
he's a dude.
A dude, yeah, just a normal human with no power.
Just a dude.
But if you notice, like that's his trope though. His trope is like a Final Fantasy anime protag. That's basically what he is.
Yeah, it's kind of going back to like Bart's, like the Bart's era of Final Fantasy protagonists. Bart's Furion, like around there.
Bart's was funny.
The problem was though, he didn't. The problem with Vaughn and Penelo, for that matter, is that they just didn't have that much to do with the main story. I mean, they would have been great as side characters, but you look at the game, like this game has such an identity crisis, which is part of its main problem because the story is about Ash and Balthier and Bosch and even Fran, but Penelo and Vaughn.
Yeah, it's like insert self is what I've always said. Like this is you experiencing.
Yeah, like
the
Vaughn
journey.
and Penelo are very much like audience surrogates where the plot is kind of told to them. And they do affect the rest of the party, but more so as conduits for them to experience their own character development.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's the reason why I had such an easy time appreciating 12 is because I love the world of Ivalice.
Oh yeah.
And so if you go into it. Yeah, so if you go into Final Fantasy 12 loving Ivalice, then everything else just like everything else feels good.
Yeah,
you know, because like with characters like Vaughn and Penelo, the reason why they feel so bad is because one of the selling points or one of the hardest parts of the story is actually all like geopolitical.
Yeah.
And in reality, there's very little they can do.
Prequel story Star Wars.
So it's very Star Wars, and I'm a Star Wars fan too. So it's like when you get that, even the person that they got to do the music for FF12, like they got him specifically because his music sounds like Star Wars music.
Nice.
Okay. So
yeah, it really does.
It does.
Yeah.
So I have appreciated, and plus that opening though. Oh my God, the opening of Final Fantasy 12, I forgot how awesome that was.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Super beautiful.
Super beautiful. Oh yeah,
so-
to answer that question.
Yeah, go back
how
to
I got
answer
into
it.
Final Fantasy.
Mhm.
Yeah, mine was a bit weird. I mentioned it earlier, but I'll go into a bit more detail. My brother and I were massive gamers together. That was one thing that we always did together. I miss him terribly, but another story. He introduced me to Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, which is one of the many, many, many offshoots of Final Fantasy. And I got into it. I was like, yeah, it was fine. It was cute. Had a few good tracks. The boss, the Dark King theme was amazing. But I remember the ending was always a bit weird. But then I got into another game done by the same company. You probably wouldn't have heard of it. It's called Chrono Trigger.
There it is.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger.
Never heard of it.
No one's ever heard of that game.
No, one of the games that's just considered one of the best, arguably the best JRPG. Again, another three-way battle between Final Fantasy 6 and 7.
Yeah, it's a close race up there.
It is, but I remember playing that game. I played the shit out of Chrono Trigger. I love the hell out of it. And still to this day, somehow they gave such a rich sound with its music and sound effects. Yasunori Mitsuda for the win, by the way. Mwah, fantastic. Great composers. But then during when the PlayStation era came out, that's my brother and I, we were Nintendo kids first. But we wanted a PlayStation just because of all the other games on there. Like we got hooked on Tekken, particularly Tekken 3, Metal Gear Solid. My God, it's so good.
And don't even get me started about Metal Gear. I
But
love
then
that.
But then we found Final Fantasy VIII, and that opening, I was going, "Holy hell, what is this?" And I was just in love with that world. Like, it made sense. I mean, you think about how kind of anime it is, how these kids are trained to fight monsters and things like that. But then you also realize it actually makes sense, because they just right out there in the forest, you not only fight something like 10-foot caterpillars and 5-foot bugs, but there's fucking Tyrannosaurus Rexes there.
And Satan is just around the corner.
I'm like,
so tasty. Early.
But I'm like, this is amazing. Like, this game is great. I love Squall. I love Renoa. It's one of my favorite romances in all of video gaming, not just Final Fantasy. It's such a unique romance, especially when you understand the story. Like Renoa, Julia, Squall, and Laguna, like such a beautiful reference there. But then I went backwards again. That's when I played Final Fantasy VII. And instantly I was hooked. But I also shot myself in the foot so many times as well. Like, there was one boss I remember my brother and I were struggling with, and that was the Demon Wall in the Temple of the Ancients.
There it is.
Rightly so.
Yes.
Oh
I
my
fucking
God.
hated that thing. And I remember it took us 3 days to defeat it. Like, we had to grind a little bit. We had different tactics. We even had to get the fucking nail bat to try and win. And I remember beating it. And we were also obsessed with Adam Sandler at the time. And I just remember yelling, "Suck my white ass wall!" And we were in hysterics. But then, not so long after that, that's when Aerith leaves. And she said, "Don't worry, Cloud, I'm going to stop Sephiroth." And I just went, "She's dead."
Oh, yeah. You're gonna die.
But here's the thing.
You're going to die.
But then that was the thing. I was actually shocked, because you had to try and stop Cloud or make Cloud do the dirty deed. And this is something I know Dustin will get into, because Rob and I had a joke about this. Tifa, "Cloud, no!" Red 13, "Stop, Cloud!" Barrett, "What are you doing?"
Don't do it.
"You stupid fucking dumbass!" But then it happened. It happened.
Wait, what happened?
Right.
As Sephiroth came down. Sephiroth came down and stabbed Aerith through the back. And that was when I was in absolute shock. That's one of the. I think that was actually the first time I ever cried for a game character.
Yes.
And as soon as Genova Life went out, I just let this great big almighty die.
I love what
my
they did
first
after
taste
that.
of genuine bloodlust.
The fact they
Final
kept the
Fantasy
song
VII.
going through the fight too, like, what a good.
Oh, that was heart wrenching.
Yeah, that moment, man. So Christian, what do you get? How did you get into Final Fantasy? What was your first experience? I mean,
let's see. When I was really young, when you guys familiar with the Super Famicom?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Super.
You're all old.
Super Family.
Not just me. So for Super Famicom, what happened was I used to love like the Zelda games, right? And they were sort of taking over that market at the time. I don't know what it was, but Japan was like, you know how we were crazy about samurais? Like they were crazy about like broadswords and elves and stuff. I'm just like someone imported like Dungeons and Dragons into their world or something like that. Yeah, and so and I was just into those kinds of games. There were so many games that were like that, and I was playing all of them, like every single one, every single like Zelda Legends of Zelda wannabes. And then there was Mystic Quest, which was the first Final Fantasy.
Yep.
I believe, yeah, it was the one with the Warrior of Light.
Yeah.
So when that one came out, like it looked like the way that the graphics were and everything, it looked like Legends of Zelda, right? But then when you play it, all of a sudden it wasn't. It's like, oh, what is it? It's all turn-based and stuff. And what is all of this? And I can name the characters. They don't have names themselves. So that's how I sort of got into that. That entered me into like the JRPG world. And then I played everything from there up. So I think I'm one of the few people who played its continuity like from 1 all the way.
That's awesome.
And I don't think I missed I missed 11 because I lived in the Philippines at the time and we didn't have internet.
Just internet.
We didn't have internet. Yeah, you know. No, but we didn't have internet capability for the PlayStation 2 at the time or something like that.
Mhm.
And so I wasn't able to play 11. That really broke my heart. I wasn't able to play
yeah.
13 at the time because it was like, you know, the system.
Yeah,
but
PS3, yeah.
it was PS3. So every time they jumped up a platform, it was always so hard for me. Like, I, you know, like it's, yeah, but I grew up in like in a third world country. But then it's always been that. I've always loved Final Fantasy. I think the time that I really truly fell in love with it, I think was Final Fantasy VII. I could play, my PlayStation, usually when you have PlayStations come to the Philippines, you jailbreak them so that people who pirate games, which is everyone in the Philippines, can use it. But then I got mine from the States. My mom like brought it in. She thought it was a great idea. I'm gonna make my son happy, give him a PlayStation. And I was just like, fuck mom, like I can't play anything. Right. And you know, and the thing about it was like it had two games. It had like a fighting game, and I'm not a fighting game person. So it had a fighting game, and then it had the Final Fantasy demo of the demo for Final Fantasy VII. I just played that over and over again until I actually got the game. Like I actually got the game. And yeah, that's what it was. And from that point onwards, I've been doing everything Final Fantasy.
That's awesome.
Like I graduated with a psych
story.
degree, and I used the characters for FF8 as case study, like actual legit case study. I didn't call them that. I didn't say Squall. I didn't say Renoa, but I used them as my college case study to graduate.
That's so cool. That's really cool because when I went to Full Sail University, I actually did something similar where everything that they would give me, I would have to like twist it to say, all right, well, how can I do Final Fantasy with this?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I am also someone that based a report around Final Fantasy.
How can I twist this? Like they wanted to do playing cards that needed to be oh gosh, Art Nouveau playing cards, and I was like, well, I'm gonna do Final Fantasy Art Nouveau. Really cool. Thank you. How about Farron? How'd you get into it? What was your first experience? That was the question.
Well, man, Final Fantasy for me, just to preface, is really kind of an emotional experience. So just to give a preface, I'm playing through all of the games right now, and the only two games I have not beaten is Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy VI.
Oh,
we're at like the cusp of completing those, but other than that, I've played them all. And where my journey started was with Final Fantasy X. I grew up in a home where we didn't really have cable or much really, so it was a lot of my older brother borrowing stuff from his friends. And that's kind of how I would get introduced to things. He happened to borrow, he happened to borrow my friend's Final Fantasy X, and I noticed him playing Blitzball. So my first exposure to this game is, oh, this is like a cool sports game where people are swimming underwater, throwing balls around, dude. Like there's this cool
It's radical.
Yeah, dude. Everyone's like using words like tubular. There's like a guy with big orange hair. Yeah, I want to play that game. Yeah, of course. Why not? Who wouldn't want to play that game? So, you know, my brother's not home for a couple of weeks at one time. The game's just sitting there. So I pop it in, turn it on, start a new game. And I'm blown away because I'm literally like, this isn't what I thought this was going to be. I just turned this on thinking I'm about to play underwater, soccer, dude. Like, what is this? And, next thing you know, I'm introduced to these complex, characters in their world. First off, favorite character of the game is Auron. I think every Final Fantasy has their trope mentor character who's a bit older than the group, And I mean, yes, in Final Fantasy VII's case, we get like Sid and Barrett a little bit as like the huskier older gentleman of the group.
Bugenhagen, probably.
Bugenhagen a little bit, yeah.
The Boogs.
The older character is typically like always like the big brother of the group. The all right, guys, everybody shut up. Like that guy of the group, keeps everybody in line. Yeah. And I got to be honest, playing through 10, it's kind of like what I was saying earlier with Final Fantasy VII is what really, really got me was the voice acting and the way the characters brought me in out of the world I was living in. Because let's face it, a lot of people that really like the Final Fantasy games are people that like to escape from their reality, and they attach themselves to these characters that they can relate with, you know, and they feel these types of like almost monumental connections with through the stories or like the undertones. So for Final Fantasy X and me, when I first started, that game got me so hooked that I played it nonstop all the time, grinding. And then the actual second game I played after that was Final Fantasy IX, but I didn't get too far into it, unfortunately. But then I played Dirge of Cerberus, and it's funny when I first got introduced.
All over the place.
when I first got introduced to Final Fantasy VII, I honestly thought Vincent Valentine was the main character because I played Dirge of Cerberus first. So
that's
like,
fair.
It was literally so it was so crazy when I went to the OG and they're like, oh, he's an optional character. I was like, oh, you know, that's cool. You know, that's not big. I was like, because that means like at least whatever he says is cool. You know,
you got to do the signature melee attack sound effects that he does in Dirge, because you sound identical when you do them.
Oh yeah, dude. We were watching, Suna and I were watching Dirge of Cerberus one night because I make fan dub videos and stuff on the side on my YouTube because I was inspired by Christian here and some of the other people from Still Thinking Films. So I'm kind of starting off, teasing some things, and we were doing some Dirge of Cerberus work, and Suna and I were in call and noticed like Vincent and Dirge of Cerberus will go over and over again, over nonstop. And I was like, oh yeah, dude, let's just do that for EchoS.
Let's do that.
Every attack, Vincent just goes, even though he's just shooting a gun. You know, he's not even.
That's awesome. That explains your love for Vincent. That's cool.
It's crazy, man. I'll be honest. I don't think there's really any one Final Fantasy that can trope another. I just think each one carries a really heavy theme sewn into its, core plot. And that's what I think everybody cares about and what we're all attached to. But it is fun to argue with everybody about like who's the better characters and I love this game more than that game. It's fun.
Who could beat up who?
Right. No, that's a beautiful message. That's exactly what it is. I love that, man. Final Fantasy always creates Square Enix has a way of creating characters that just stick. So I think we haven't Suna, you haven't
just me left.
You haven't said your first experience.
Your origin story.
Your origin story.
So I think I was like 6 or 7 years old or something, and we didn't have the internet, we didn't have cable, didn't have a PlayStation. I was more of an outdoor kid, and then Final Fantasy ruined my life.
Now you live in this colorful box.
Yes, now I just live in this colorful.
I mean, I don't know about you, but when I played Final Fantasy VII, I was told I still had to go outside for an hour. So now that I have a kid of my own, I imagine this is going to happen one day where I'm just going to look at him and go, "What are you doing?" but I imagine like my mom was staring out the kitchen window, watching me outside, standing still, and just running up and slicing nothing and then just jumping back and just waiting my turn.
Whenever we were at school, we used to like reenact like the first scenes and stuff when the game's incredible. But
real time battle right now.
There was one day that I woke up. It wasn't a special event, no birthday, no Christmas, no nothing that I remember anyway. And my mom came up to me and she was like, "Here, this came for you in the mail." And my dad was there with me as well. And I opened it and it was a brand new PlayStation 1 and it came with Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, nice.
And when I asked them, I was like, where did this come from? Like, I asked for this so many times and you kept saying I couldn't get it. And my granddad, who lived in America at the time, had sent it over to me. So Final Fantasy VII, I don't think was actually even out in England at the time. Yeah, and I lived in England at that point in time. So I got it early compared to everybody else. And I wasn't quite up to scratch with my reading skills at that point. So I'd have to play the game with my dad. But my dad's shifts at work would like change so sporadically. And then he started doing like night shifts. We were sleeping during the day and I couldn't play the game anymore because I couldn't read it. Yeah. So I actually forced myself to learn how to read to be able to play this game, which is kind of ironic now because now I'm voicing it and no one will ever have to read it again. But,
closing the circle.
Yeah.
That's the real story.
That is a real story.
It's a story of vengeance.
Yes.
You made me learn how to read.
Now no one will ever read again.
Yeah, that's
first ever
cool. Full
game.
circle.
Period. Taught me how to
Wow.
read. Like it's special. Like it's mad to me.
That's awesome, man. Really cool story. Thank you guys for sharing your stories. That's really, really cool. I mean, we've shared our stories, but like on different podcasts. So I don't know if we have any return viewers, but I mean, I feel like a lot of these these are obviously a lot of new viewers today. So go, Vinny. Why don't you share your first experience, man, about Final Fantasy?
So my first experience was I didn't know I was playing a Final Fantasy. I was, I don't know, probably like 6 or 7, and I was visiting my godfather. But while my parents and my godfather were like hanging out, I used to just go upstairs and play like Altered Beasts on the Super Nintendo, or I think it was the Super, whatever consoles he had. But I know that I just mindlessly put in one game one day, and it turned out to be what was it, Final Fantasy V with the Cane Highland? Is that 5 or 4?
4.
Yeah,
That's
4.
That's 4.
Yeah, 4.
So I had 4 in there, and I was just playing through. I was going through the cave, and then I ended up fighting the Mist Dragon. And Kane did jump. You had, I think I made him do jump, but he jumped, and then I killed the Mist Dragon, and then Kane was gone after that. And I didn't know that happens in the plot. And I was just like, oh no, I killed him. Like he's just gone. I'm never gonna get him again.
He never came down.
He never came back down. I was like, oh no, I gotta do this again. And so I didn't know that was a Final Fantasy. I ended up going home and then coming back and like months later, and I put it in again, and everything was a lot harder. I was fighting end game bosses.
Oh god.
And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I stopped playing because I didn't want to ruin my godfather's file. And then I had a babysitter, and then I just turned on his PS2 and started playing, and it was Final Fantasy X, but I didn't know it was Final Fantasy. And so I was just playing. It started off at Bicanel Desert, and getting like when you fight the big black bird, and I was just like, oh, I don't know if I should be doing this, because I didn't want to ruin his file. So I stopped playing. And then eventually I played Final Fantasy X myself for the first time. And when I made it to Bicanel Island, I was just like, oh, I remember this from when I was like younger. Like this is Final Fantasy.
This is the
and
time.
I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So I told my godfather, and he goes, yeah, you played Final Fantasy IV, with the Mist Dragon and everything. I was like, that's Final Fantasy? He was like, yeah. I was like, I like this game.
I like Final Fantasy.
So then I went back and played 7 and all that stuff. I got really into 7. I did challenge runs for 7, and I just one summer I went into like a fugue state, and I just decided at the beginning of the summer, I think I was still in high school, but at the beginning of the summer, I was like, I'm going to get Cloud to level 99 before fighting the Scorpion Tank boss. And it took like 700 and something hours, but I did it. He was level 99, and then I didn't touch the game for like 3 years after.
I'm done.
Rightly
Done.
so.
But yeah, that's my experience.
Why that isn't an achievement, I'll never know.
Yeah,
Just Team 1.
that right there is insane, man. He's like, we were playing last night, and he was like, this is where I spent 750 hours, Daniel, just running in circles. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. That's awesome.
You know what else you could have done in 750 hours?
Anything. OS.
Probably could have learned a new language.
Could have learned to code OS for us.
The unfortunate part of that story, though, was that like you did it on the original PlayStation 1, so now you can't have that save file anymore.
Well, so I did it on the original PlayStation 1 with one of those like really bulky memory cards that had like the little tiny like LCD, not LCD, but like a little screen on the front of the memory card.
Right, yeah.
And that was the memory card that always had a problem with. It would say like, you need to format this memory card, and then it just deletes everything.
Oh man, I hated those days.
That was a bold move to do 750 hours on a memory card like that.
Oh no, I didn't turn off the PlayStation.
Oh my.
I kept it on because that was the memory card
I did that when I didn't have a memory card.
Yeah, same. Yeah, like I lost my Digimon file because of that memory card. I lost. There was a whole bunch of things. Jack and Daxter. I lost. I was so upset.
Jack and Daxter.
So Yeah, that PlayStation 1 stayed on for 750 hours straight, and they don't make systems like they used to.
They don't make them like
They
that.
really don't.
They really don't.
My
It's
OG
crazy.
N64 still works fine. I've gone
The
through
electric
like
bill
2
just comes in and they're like,
PS3s.
the fuck happened here?
It wasn't the
PS1 still works
original.
fine.
It was not the original Digimon fighting game. It was that Digimon one where like they poop on the ground
Oh,
and you gotta get
Digimon
into a
World.
toilet. Yeah, Digimon World.
Yeah,
I
that's
always,
Digimon World. I have that.
always got the green, the really bad one, the one that it digivolved into a big pile of green poop.
Oh, New Mamon, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something.
Nimamon,
I was
yeah.
never good at that game, but I had Monster Rancher 2 on there too that got deleted.
Oh.
I hated that memory.
I had a very similar experience with a GameCube memory card that wiped out like thousands of hours of GameCube games. So I feel you.
I do not miss memory cards. at
No,
all.
no. Oh my God.
Mm.
Well, for me, I guess well, it started when I was 7 when Final Fantasy VII came out. And my brother Sean would play. He would play downstairs. That was like his area, right? You just go downstairs, play Final Fantasy VII. I wasn't allowed to watch or play it because it was rated teen. And so I would sneak downstairs and like sit behind the couch, like he didn't know I was there. And I would just kind of like sit behind the couch and just watch. I remember the first thing I saw when I did that, sneaking down the stairs, when I saw it, was Genova and the blood trails. And I was like, oh man, it felt like I shouldn't be watching this. And then like I saw that and I would just do it a lot. And then Sean like would know I was sitting there and he's just like, dude, just come on, sit down. And then eventually he had to convince my mom that it was okay. Like, it's fine. There's nothing in it. There's just one scene that, blood trails, whatever. He's like, but it's fine. He can play it. But he had named Cloud Sean, and he named Barrett Badazz, Badazz. And that's what I called him, Badazz. I didn't know what the real thing he was trying to say, but it was Badazz to me. So that was the first like experience with Final Fantasy VII. And then once mom said, hey, you can play it, I was able to play it. I had no idea what was going on because I'm 7 years old. I can't process that. What's when the story sounds awesome. It literally feels like Final Fantasy VII like basically became the like seed of my imagination. Like from Final Fantasy VII on, my imagination like is like every story, everything I did as a kid, like creating in my head, it was all like rooted in that Final Fantasy VII type thing. And then so a couple years went by, and my brother Sean actually got diagnosed with cancer, and so he went on and did that. So he got diagnosed with cancer, and then he passed away. So when Final Fantasy VII, like when I think of Final Fantasy VII, it feels like a bridge to my older brother, like because of that moment that I shared with him, and because he got me into Final Fantasy VII. And Final Fantasy VII is basically like that became part of who I am. So it just there's like this really strong connection. And that's why, even ironically, the themes of Final Fantasy VII are about loss, living life. Each character has gone through like a really tragic thing. Every character in Final Fantasy has, and what they do after that is what defines them. And that's why I always like Final Fantasy VII just means even more to me than it ever has. So that's my story. Sorry, that one's a little
all right. It's all right.
It's a bit more
truth,
but anyway, a bit more meaning behind it to some of
Yeah.
us.
I'm so glad that you didn't go first. So
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was going to do it. I've already said that on the show, and I was I don't want to keep repeating it, but yeah. So that's my story about Final Fantasy VII. It just means so much to me, and that's why I'm doing this show in the first place. And hearing you guys say your Final Fantasy VII story or your Final Fantasy story, it's just awesome. I love hearing it. I love hearing that.
They're all so varied, but they all like they're also all very still vivid.
Yeah,
like that kind of just shows how strong a brand, a franchise like that Final Fantasy is.
Exactly.
Like it has its hills and valleys, but like it's still, you know, it's still very important to people.
I
The
really
hills
think
are
that
amazing hills, I gotta say.
I really think that people that played the Final Fantasy series as a kid, it actually helped shape their personality to become good people.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just me,
agree
but
with
like
that.
I usually come across people that are just really good. Now, granted, there are huge assholes in the Final Fantasy.
Yes, let's not. We can't overshare.
Thankfully, they're the minority. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
they're obnoxious and relentless.
Yeah,
And
they
very
are-
loud,
They're,
yeah.
they're a very
Yeah.
vocal minority, but
For the most part.
yeah,
The Shinras
like,
of the world.
Yeah.
another one. The other kind of cool thing was Final Fantasy 15 when it came out. I actually was becoming like a father that year, and it was just so cool, like how that all like how the whole thing like with Final Fantasy is just connected so much.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
So
tell your
Regis hit hard, man.
So do you tell your kid to walk tall?
I do a lot.
Oh.
All the time,
I just linked
damn.
our Final Fantasy VII community spotlight video where that it's our podcast episode where we took testimonials and stories from people like Soldier First Class, Night Sky Prince. They gave us how much Final Fantasy VII means to them. I linked that in the chat. It's actually a really, really good episode.
Yeah, thank you for doing that, Vinny. That was our final podcast 7. So we just did a Final Fantasy 7 special. Yeah, that's where I told my story there too. But yeah, that was fun. What do you guys want to do now? Do you guys want to go raid Soldier First Class with a bunch of? If he's still on, is he still alive?
I think that's a good idea.
He's still alive.
I really want to, but I actually have to get going because I got so much shit.
That's okay. Yeah, we're just taking chat. We're taking chat. We're bringing.
Oh
him
yeah,
over
we're
there.
just sending
And-
chat over
Yeah,
there.
we're just sending chat.
Time to raid.
You can babysit him for a while.
Yeah.
Imagine I'm just like, wait, you have lines to do, you and
Yes, yeah.
you don't have playtime.
Yeah, well,
Get to
here's the
crack it.
thing.
You know?
I'm doing voice work for other projects, which I'm not allowed to talk about yet. Non-disclosure agreements.
Oh, he's
Sure
actually
thing.
hosting
Writing.
somebody else right
Exciting.
now. He's not streaming himself.
No.
Who else we got?
Rate him anyway.
I mean, Bones
Rate
has
him
got a
anyway.
point. We all got grunts to record.
I'll make a
just-
stream right now.
Just
No,
find
kidding.
somebody in the
there
FF7
you go.
category that's using
Yeah.
mods. Just drop everyone on.
Do it. But right now, I bid thee farewell, and remember,
Yes.
I will never be a memory.
Oh,
Who are you again?
you are definitely a memory. Like, we will always remember that.
I'll never forget that.
Cloud's like, for real, bro? Our fight was 10 minutes.
And then I
Thank you
came
so
back
much for being
Smash.
You did
Thank
come
you for
back for
having me.
Smash.
Thank you
And
so
it's
much.
absolute delight.
All right, guys. You know,
Adieu.
and
Yes.
we're just gonna go ahead and do it. We'll just go ahead and close it out right now then. So thank you everyone so much for being on the show. Thank you, Tuna, for creating such an ambitious, amazing project that's coming up very soon, 2021. It's happening. It's going to happen. And then also look forward to Echo S8. Thank you, Suna, for that. Christina, thank you so much for your performances as Tifa. I can't wait to play the game and hear that throughout. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait for your emotional. I think I saw a few of those from the demo reel, the emotional scenes. You guys, not only are you getting voice acting, you're getting talent, you're getting just emotional impact. Thank you so much, Luke. Thank you so much for being on the show, providing those epic voices, those monster voices, as well as your own voice, which is, you're very talented, man. So
Thank
good
you
luck
so
with your
much.
Yes, and thank you, David, for being on the show with the amazing Sephiroth. It's just, you will always, like Christian, I believe it was said, you will always be a memory to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never gonna forget you. We're gonna have you guys back on the show one day for sure.
He even asked to be muted today.
You asked to be muted.
Never forget.
And I clipped that. I did clip that. If you guys want copies of that.
Christian.
Oh, yes.
Christian, thank you so much for your very talented Cloud. Barrett, man, epic. But not only that, directing this project. So I'm really excited to play it. And thank you so much for being on the show. Farron, thanks for jumping in, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Vincent is you heard him a little bit earlier. The Vincent, you get a little tease. I'm excited because you nailed it, man. You nailed it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm not even just saying that. You guys are very talented. Like, just not. I'm really excited to play it. And Vinny, my co-host. Thank you, man. Thanks for being here, man.
Hey, no problem.
Vinny. And then chat. Thank you guys for being awesome. And just this is the most successful stream that we have ever had on Final Fan TV. So thank you, chat. Thank you, Tsunamods. All right, we're out, guys. Thank you. Take care.
Adieu.
Right.
Good night, guys.
Have a good night.
Good night. Good night.